Boom, and we're live. Welcome to Soscast, sexiest financial podcast in the world. This is where finance meets romance. Only here on Valuetainment, the #1 channel in the world for entrepreneurs. Today's episode, I want to talk about a few things. I'm obsessed with this concept and the importance of age 30. So we have some 20-somethings on the panel. Natalya is still 5 years later, still somehow 21, looking good. Black don't crack. And we have people that have actually got some things to say about many different things that's going on right now. Success, networking, mindset, chasing success, not necessarily women.
Attracting success, Adam.
Attracting
you don't chase
success.
Shit around
I
here.
like that.
Yep.
Anyway, my name is Adam Sosnick. You can call me Soz. And Nat, we are here for one reason, to help you gentlemen and even ladies out there get paid, get laid, and do it your way. Now, we've got some returning champions to the show in the house. We've got Fosh Posh, Nefeesah Terry. You know her, you love her, you want her, you're sliding in her DMs. Her Instagram is blowing up for good and bad reasons, clips that are going viral. But she's out there. Some call her the woman of the dream, some call her a villain. I don't know. You let us know in the comments. As always, the lovely Natalya DelValle is here.
I'm
the
here.
Princesa of Valuetainment.
I am here.
Hooked on phonics work for me. She's killing it.
Killing it
Bright
for you
smile,
guys.
bright eyes. There she is.
Yes.
But first time on the show, we're excited to have him. BJ Klock is here. Quote unquote, I've heard this multiple times, the most famous man you've never heard of. Google the dude. See what he's got going on out there. Entrepreneur, marketing, branding expert. Early in on the game of social media and branding and marketing. And it's great to have you on the show, brother. Welcome to town from LA.
Yeah,
How you
it's
feeling?
a pleasure. Thanks for having me, man. I'm great, man. Beautiful day out here in sunny Florida. Glad to stop by and hang out with you guys today.
There he
We're
is.
gonna have a freaking
Awesome.
blast.
So here's what we're going to be discussing today. Obviously, you were in 2017, so not so long ago. Forbes 30 under 30. You're about to be 33 this weekend. I want to say, where are we partying? Let me know. Let me get an invite. We'll talk about that later.
Let's get it.
Sexual market value, where that comes. Being the concept of being financially free, having a money mindset.
You know I
the
own that
hustle
trademark,
and
right?
grind.
Financial
What's-
freedom creator. So
Really?
Yeah. So keep using it. And
Okay.
I want a royalty check.
Let's turn BJ up a little bit because I'd like to hear what our guest has to say. Hustle and grind culture, setting big goals. Natalya's going to be reading your super chats.
Yes.
By the way, can we get something on the screen here so I at least know what's going on out there? If you can do that, Andres, amazing. Networking, running mates, who to hang out with, who to drop from your life. Vision, what women perceive in life, their vision, and kind of like their sixth sense, what women got. And the LA party music scene overall. But let's get into the show. If you have not subscribed to Valuetainment or Valuetainment Money, drop a like, drop a subscribe. We're going to get into today's show. Natalya, is there anything you would like to add? Because I'd like you to get a little camera time today, because every time you smile and they see your teeth, we get 100,000 subscribers. So just keep smiling, keep shining, do it the way you are.
Only
Whitney
thing I have
Houston.
to say is to kind of piggyback off of you guys. Just make sure you guys like the video, comment, share the video. We're going to be dropping a lot of good gems today when it comes to money, lifestyle, women, men. So get your pens, your papers, your pencils together, and let's get this party started.
Hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your children. Today's going to be one of those types of episodes. So we usually start off with just a very basic premise, and we have our guests give us two pieces of information. How you make your money and your relationship status, and we'll start the conversation from there. BJ Klock in the house. Go ahead.
Hey. So how I make my money is actually wide. I got a couple of different businesses, but through business, my major stream of income is through digital marketing and helping brands cultivate large engaged audiences around their mission and their message. So help refining their message and help tap them into different data metrics to attract followers, attract fans, and really scale their brand.
Awesome. And by the way, let's put the link, if we can, to BJ's Instagram. It's just BJ Klock
Yeah,
on
BJ
Instagram.
Klock. Yep, Klock. Klock with a K.
K-L-O-C-K.
Yep.
K-L-O-C-K. Fosh Posh on Instagram. And Natalya DelValle. Okay, so in relationship status.
I would say I'm
That's
dating.
one of those complicated.
I'm dating currently,
Dating.
there's a couple, some special people in my life. But
Some?
no, well, you know,
Keyword some.
You're triggering people, bro.
yeah, I know. You're getting me in trouble, Adam. But like, no, honestly though, there is one special woman that, but we're just kind of dating, taking it easy, you know, not really in a rush, but you know, just kind of like, you know, I like understanding people, getting to know people, and you know, seeing where it goes. You know, I'm not kind of like at this point in my life, I'm not really just trying to like hop in a situation just to hop in one. I really want to find a person that can really match me on all levels, you know.
And you met this lady in California?
That'd be my next question.
Shit. Oh, that's gonna go. Yeah, no. Actually, no. We met on social media. Actually.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
yeah.
nice. That's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Well,
more
not different for
common
me.
today,
Yeah.
but
For
different
me-
from what I like.
For me, to be honest, like that's
Yeah.
how I meet most of the people that are actually in my life is actually through social media. It's like I'm kind of blessed. Like, just like, you know, when you're in it, you don't really realize how valuable it is because you're just like doing your thing.
Right.
But like, I can imagine it must be very difficult, like if you don't have a social media presence to actually meet people and engage with people, and also, so I'm really fortunate in the fact that like I can just meet people on social media and on Instagram.
Is
and-
that your preference of like dating and meeting people is social media, or do you
I
like
mean, I think
in person?
no. To be honest, like in person is not really like. I mean, not that I'm against it,
Yeah.
you know, but I think there's a time and a place, and I think social media kind of gives you the right medium to like get to know someone, and then like maybe go out on dates and you know do different things and you know get to know them. I think in person there's a lot of times different things going on. I don't know. I just even since I was a kid, like I always operated better like meeting people online, and that was actually kind of weird because like when I grew up, like it was still kind of when the internet was transitioning. You know, like I was probably like 14, 15 when MySpace was big.
Right.
And like that's actually where I met my first girlfriend was on MySpace, and like we didn't want to tell anybody, you know, because like that was still weird then, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's like,
yeah.
oh, you met online, you know,
Right.
but it's like now
Sketchy.
it's like normal. It's
Right.
like that's how everybody meets. But yeah, I don't know. I just found it always kind of to be easier to kind of like cultivate a relationship. And
Let me ask you, it's very interesting. This concept of meeting people online. You brought up a good topic. Like in MySpace, 10 years ago, if you met someone
Oh, it's
online,
weird.
it's like,
You didn't wanna
please
tell them.
notify the authorities
Yeah.
of whatever's happening right now.
And like you didn't want to tell your friends anything either. Or we met at the football game or
Right.
something. You
Yeah,
know? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
But there was no football game this weekend. Oh, there was a football online. Right. So it used to be kind of very weird. Now it's sort of customary. But I'm wondering, what are the issues with that? So, for instance, you've got a very big Instagram following,
Yeah.
over 1 million followers, verified, all that. You're over 500,000 at this point and counting.
Well, for me, I mean, it's completely transformed my dating life, to be honest with you. Like, I mean,
Really?
In a good way or a
yeah,
bad way?
In a fantastic way. Like,
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
you as a
I have a
man.
lot more opportunities than I would have had otherwise. Like, you know, like my dating pool, if I wasn't a social media influencer, it would be very fucking slim. I'm not like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not like, you know.
So I really appreciate you being real
Yeah.
and kind of explaining that. So BJ with 1 million
Yeah,
followers on
I
Instagram.
I can date 10s,
Let-
12s, you know what I mean? But
you're
at-
dating 10s just because you have 1 million in your
I don't know.
verified.
I don't think. I don't want to say just the followers because like it's also me, like what I've done and what I've accomplished. I think women appreciate that. I think
Yeah.
they, you know, love my work ethic and what I've accomplished. But if I was sitting here with 600 followers, hadn't done what I've done, and I'd be dating 2s. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and
what
I don't
if
mean
you-
that derogatory either. It's
Well,
just, you know what I mean? Like,
this is actually very important
Yeah.
these days
Yeah.
because we talked with our good friend Michael Sartain recently, who kills it, Access Vegas, and he talked about like step 1.
Get your Instagram
Get your
together.
Instagram right. Stop looking like a freaking creep.
No, that's true.
And
No,
it's
I
very
think
true.
Also, too, like it makes people more comfortable to meet you. Like, you know, and I can see it from a woman's perspective too. Is like, you know, like you don't like. I think a lot of times for women, their biggest fear is not get murdered or abducted. You know, honestly, like especially when you're meeting a stranger. Like, it's subconscious, probably a lot of it. And it's like, so when you have an established audience and you like are like you can show that you're a legitimate person, I think it just breaks down those barriers of like entry of like, you know, is this guy gonna abduct me? Like, of course he's not gonna abduct me. He's spent way too much time and energy on his brand. Like, why would he throw it all away to like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any
Honestly,
sense.
I would think the opposite. I would.
Oh, you would?
I would
Okay,
kind of
Fosh.
think more the opposite.
You're like,
because,
oh, this guy's crazy because he's got millions of followers. He must be a crazy narcissist.
Not necessarily that, but like the more money, the more stuff you can get away with.
True.
So if you really
I could
wanted
see
to
that.
do something and take me and pick me up and
Yeah.
put me away, you could.
Yes.
So that's what I think about too,
Okay.
honestly.
So I
Hold
get-
on. So you're saying that if a guy with 1 million followers on Instagram, he's more likely to do some shady ass shit than someone with like a private profile and 1,000 followers. I don't know about it. Really?
Kind of, yes.
Fosh, are you
Definitely.
speaking hypothetically or based on experience?
I'm telling you straight up.
She's here, so
Which one
I'm
is
telling you
it?
straight up
Hypothetically,
that Posh is
but-
giving a response to millions of followers over 600 private.
Yes.
Yes.
She could say whatever.
True,
let's be
but to a
honest.
certain extent.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I see what you're
you
saying.
know, I
didn't
look
even
through the
see that
stuff.
angle.
Basically, BJ's like, honey, stop it.
but like,
Dude
if
with the
you-
million followers slides in the DMs, you're gonna check. Dude with 200 followers, you're gonna be like, this fucking nothing
Oh yeah,
burger.
no, I'm not looking.
Okay, so we've just established that the very least, this gets you a foot in the door.
Yeah, well, not,
Okay.
and not just with women, but like in life, man.
In life.
Like there's rooms that I've been in. I mean, I've been places like, I mean, I come from a small town in Connecticut. You know, like these opportunities, like the life that I've lived was not set up for me to live that life, and it's because of social media allowed me to, you know, be in, you know, places that it's like, wow, like, and not only be in these places, but where other people from the outside would be like, you know, they're looking at these people as like celebrities, quote unquote. Those people were treating me like a celebrity because I had unique value. It's like
Yeah.
they didn't know how I was doing what I was doing. Like they knew how they were doing what they were doing. They got all this contrived stuff, and you know what I mean. But like they were like, well, who the hell's this guy? Because he's a nobody from nowhere, and why is he popular?
So I want to hone in on this for a second. This concept of followers, subscribers, real life, virtual life. I kind of want to stay here for a second. So, by the way, no, everyone in the audience isn't going to have a million followers, million subscribers. We know
Correct.
that, okay? But at the very least, you know, social media, Instagram specifically, is your new resume, okay?
It's your digital.
It's
your
your
online
digital
presence.
footprint.
Yes.
It's your digital presence. It's your online
I like
resume.
looking at it like this, Adam. Is like you go into an office space, right? You either got nice leather chairs with the wood grain, or you got like the elementary school chairs. You know what I'm saying? And like, how does that make you feel when you step into the office? Now, that front foyer is kind of like the Instagram. But after that, it's like, do you got substance or do you not got substance? You know what I mean? Like, is there something in the back, or are you just all show? And so obviously the front end of that nice foyer area, it gives you that appeal, gets you in the right foot, but you have to have something else to back it up. You can't just be all fame or all that and not have any substance, you know, because it fizzles out. There's too many people I'm sure you've seen, and it's like they get famous for an afternoon and then they disappear. You know, and I'm very deliberate about that. Like personally, I could be a lot more famous if I wanted to be. I've been taking it as like kind of a consistent pace, because I look for more longevity. Like I look at things 10, 20, 30 years. I'm not trying to be famous for an afternoon.
I love that. So you're not trying to get in your 15 minutes of fame.
No, and then disappear. No, that's never been my intention.
How
It's not
about-
my intention for my clients.
How about this though?
Yes.
You can have a lot of followers,
Yes.
but I feel like there are people who are buying followers as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So-
Yeah, people definitely, they do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You know what
well,
I'm saying?
Yeah.
so here's how I look at things. Let's rule out the fake clout, fake followers people for now, because we know they exist.
Yeah.
You go on someone's profile, they've got 100,000 followers, and they're getting like 30 views. It's like something's up.
Yeah.
And now automatically people get, all right, this person's a faker. You've
can
just
buy
been
views, too.
labeled.
Yeah,
you
that's,
can follow.
that's
you
the
can,
wrong way to go about it.
100% agree.
Because it kind of does the counterintuitive. Then you can't trust the person.
Then
'cause
you
it's
can't
like,
trust
are
the
they
person.
legit? Yeah.
Deli, can we turn up everybody's volume? Thanks.
Because that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day is like, can I trust them? So it's like, even when you're utilizing the social media, you want to utilize it in a way where it builds in that trust. you
The
know,
rapport,
The
right?
rapport.
So
I agree.
you've established who you are before you have to say anything. So now another thing that I'll say with that is, for a guy to have 1 million followers on Instagram,
ain't easy, man, especially
he
taking
has
selfies.
had to do some shit. Unless you've got the fattest ass in the world for a
Yeah,
white
bro.
boy, I don't think that people are just gonna follow
And I had
you.
a fatter ass when I was 18, bro.
I
And those
believe
baseball
you.
pants, that's faded away now at 33. It's
I
disappeared.
don't think people are
You
just
must
gonna
have a lot of
subscribe.
male followers. Then.
Now, women, on the other hand, they can just be gorgeous, and boom, now you've got 500,000, you've got 1 million
Yeah, women definitely
followers,
have
which
it
is
easy.
fine.
Well, they have an easier time of growing, but at the same time, though, like you can kind of get stuck in this kind of like where people are just lusting after you,
Yes.
and you're not
I
really
agree.
building a brand, and that can
Correct.
kind of be a lot of distractions in a way, which can make it more challenging. So like they have advantages, but then they also have challenges that men don't have either. You know.
Let's talk about that for a sec. So, Fosh, you've got how many on Instagram at this point?
567.
Okay.
7,000.
Give me the pros and cons of having that many followers, right? Meaning the pros. You get more job opportunities. You're recognized. The cons. People think that you're X, Y, or Z, or a 304, or an Instagram model, hoochie, whatever.
I'll
Give me
definitely
that.
start with the cons. I've noticed that people act a little different around me sometimes, or they'll act like they don't know who I am when they do know who I am. So I've noticed that kind of energy. And then I noticed that people kind of want to date me for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And they don't really want to get to know me. They want to just, have me as arm candy.
Oh,
And they're like, let me show off my new toy to my friends. This is who I'm with. Let me make them jealous kind of thing.
And now these dudes
So-
that kind of want to show you off as arm candy toy, don't take this the wrong way, Fosh, but can you blame them? Meaning, I don't see you dating someone who's unsuccessful, not cool, no network, no money. I just don't see it. So the guys that is taking out a girl like you, 25, gorgeous, model, Insta famous, they may be at a caliber of their mind where they're just like, I want you to be the arm candy. Let's be the best arm candy you possibly can be, and I'll make life easy. What would you say if some guy had that perspective?
I would like for them to be upfront and say that, because when I'm dating somebody, I actually want to have like a romantic relationship with them. I don't want to feel like a piece of meat, or just like disposable. Like, oh, okay, this is my,
I feel you.
So you would want him to say
get
up
away.
front, hey, you're gorgeous. You got a little tiara thing going on right now. It's kind of feeling the vibe, right? Here's my expectations. You would actually be comfortable with some guy saying that up front?
I would like it to be more clear than it to be like faking.
And I don't think that's just with
I
that
just-
situation.
I would respect it
I think it's
more.
all situations like that. It's like
And I
just
probably still
transparency.
wouldn't participate, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, yeah, and you shouldn't. But like, I think that's setting proper expectations in all relationships is super important. You want to, you got a better chance of things going smoothly if you set the proper expectations. If you set bad expectations, then that's where things start going awry. That's where arguments happen. That's when things kind of break down.
Gotcha. So give me the
Pros.
the pros.
The pros. I make money off of my Instagram right from my phone. I don't have to really do too much.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's
a pro.
a great pro. I
That's
love
a
it.
pro.
Another pro. I get a lot of attention.
So the monetization of beauty and sexualization and attention. I could see why a guy would be intimidated by a girl like you. Large social media presence, right? All sorts of dudes sliding in the DM. What kind of challenges do you have with guys' ego, fragility, being jealous, saying, "Oh, who you talking to?"
Yeah.
This must be a thing you have going on.
I get that. I actually have that happen all the time where people think like, oh, I have all of these options and everybody, like I'm interested in these people, but it's really like I'm not even interested in my fans or like my what do you call it? My fan base. I'm not interested in them. But like the people that I date are like, oh my gosh, she's probably talking to this person. He's probably spending this amount of money on her. So then they don't even want to even try
I can feel that.
to like do anything.
Has having a big social media raised your standard of what you believe your significant other should be?
It's a good question. To a certain extent, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
In what areas? Like, do you feel like now you're qualified to have certain men in certain calibers because of that? And like,
it seems like that's the only man that I can really date now because people who aren't in that limelight or have that kind of like exposure to the life or
yeah.
the followers or whatever, they don't understand it, so they act very strange.
Right.
So I have to date men who are used to it, if that makes sense, you know?
Gotcha.
You have to date men who are used to dating Insta famous girls.
Instagram models or like they have some type of social status, money, like kind of thing. Because I've noticed when I'm dating somebody who isn't used to it, the relationship is just, it's no connect. It's very awkward. They want to like try to control me. They don't.
Just
And
a lot of
want
are
me to
those
work.
people financially doing well, or they're kind of like in the middle?
I think they're more in the middle.
So now I have a question for you on that. So would you say if you met somebody who maybe doesn't have a big social platform, but they're doing very well financially, they'll be able to maintain a woman like you?
Absolutely. I would actually prefer that more.
And what do you think that they have that others? What do you think like those certain people would have Like, what makes that person different?
Privacy, actually, because like I already kind of have to do a lot of public stuff, so I would like for some things to be private. So I would appreciate somebody who is like more private with our relationship.
I love that. So shout out. See, gentlemen, I know you may think you need to have all these followings and the social, and it is important to have a profile that is, you know, appropriate and it looks good. But not all women are looking for the social status online.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of depthness that comes with those guys who aren't too big on social
Well,
media.
true.
Yeah.
I think the chances of you not being a narcissist and having 1 million followers is like, you know,
Higher.
yeah, it's super high. Like, yeah, like it's.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's like, you know, to be successful on social media, it can be up to two things. You're either a complete narcissist and you just love yourself to the ultimate extent, or you have a true passion to help people. And you really, you know, you think about that young 8-year-old kid that you want to touch and, you know, help him grow and become better. And, you know, I think, you know, you're either tapping into that vibe or you're
Right.
tapping into the I'm the greatest thing in the world, you know.
Yeah, there's a reason that, wow, you just turned me up. There's a reason that the words selfish and selfie have the same root.
Yeah.
So it's like, where did that come from? So these selfie things, listen, it's
They
different
do
for men
really
and
good on
women.
Instagram, though, by the way.
What do?
Faces in general.
Okay.
Like, you should even, like, you could even put a face that's not even there in your pictures. Like, make it so the eye can't see it, but that robots could, and your post will actually do better.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Face pictures.
Yeah, just in general, just having a face in the image.
Even not your face, someone else's face?
Well,
Or
yeah, you could just put you could actually put a face in the image, but it can't be seen by eyes. But like the robots can see it, and it'll actually help your engagement. So
That's
you can just, like,
interesting.
you can
Scaring
just
me.
fade a
So are
face.
you-
in
Nat,
the
I'm gonna put a
background.
selfie
Are
of
you
you on
saying
my
like
page.
it's just selfie, like it doesn't have to be much else? Just
No,
your
yeah,
face?
no, faces do really well. Yeah.
I've noticed that on my Instagram
They
that you're
do.
saying that.
No, yeah, no,
because the
Instagram
posts that I
favors
do
that.
where it's just my face and like here up,
Yeah.
they do really
They
good.
do really good. Yeah, yeah. No, Instagram actually
So
favors
word to the
faces.
wise, ladies, you don't have to do
I
booty
thought I was-
shots.
No.
I thought I was
Just
just
hone in on the
pretty.
face.
Well, you know, I mean, obviously you're pretty, but it's, you know, yeah, but
I
the
was like,
faces
oh,
in
okay, they
general.
like my face.
Yeah.
No, it's just the
Because my
algorithm.
selfies
Okay.
do good too, and I'm not that pretty.
BJ, let me ask you one more question
Yeah.
about social media, and then we'll transition to a little more money success topics. You, 1 million followers, Instagram. Do you prefer a girl
Yeah.
who is, let's say, 1 million also followers? She's out there, she's putting a thing, or a girl.
I mean, to be honest,
couple hundred followers,
I mean,
private,
I don't
not,
really
not
care
trying
about
to put
that.
her stuff out there.
I don't really care about that, but I gotta be honest that like I kind of prospect from the Explore feed. So like if you're not lit enough to be on the Explore feed, of my Explore feed, you're not gonna get a DM.
Ooh,
Wow.
heard that.
So you are actively pursuing girls who are putting
are
their
lit.
shit out there.
Oh, he want the litty
Really?
one.
Well, yeah, because like I mean, if they do, you know what I mean, like, but like lit in the right way, you know, building a brand, like you know, can match my fly.
Interesting, because I'm on the exact opposite vibe. These
I
days.
feel that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at some point, and guys, you know what I'm
But
talking
that doesn't
about out
bother
there.
me though. Like that attention thing. That, I don't know if it was the way I was raised or like just life in general, things that I've gone through. But like I don't have this jealous bone in my body. Like I don't care if someone's lusting after my girlfriend. Like whatever. Like she's my girlfriend. Like I don't give a shit. Like she could have 1 million guys lusting after her. She's mine. You know what I'm
Here's
saying?
the
Like,
question.
It doesn't bother me.
I
love
would
it.
I would highly. This might be controversial for someone that out there getting followers. I would advise, for the most part, if you don't have some sort of relationship, friendship, communication of some capacity with these ridiculously gorgeous girls on Instagram, unfollow. Here's why.
Well, I wouldn't even follow him in the first place though.
Well, okay.
No, that's
That-
step
good to
one.
know.
Step
But
one. You
if
don't follow until like you got a certain kind of rapport in a certain type of situation. Like
But most guys would see a hot
I know they
girl
follow and like right away, and that's
follow.
why they don't get DM back. So that's some sauce for y'all. All right, I don't drop that everywhere, but here you go. All right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Speaking
there
of
you go.
sauce.
I don't ever talk about that, but
when you're
you know.
when you're messaging a girl on the Explore page,
Yeah.
you're not following her.
No,
you're
fuck
not,
no. I'm not liking the post either.
So
So
then
you
how do
just
you
message
See, I'm
Communicate
giving you the
with them?
game right now. I don't even tell nobody this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, but how do you
I would never do
communicate
that.
with them?
Well, you
Give
DM
us
them?
the tea.
Okay, you just
Really?
DM.
Yeah.
Give me an intro line.
No, you know, you're not gonna believe it. What the intro line
What
is?
is it?
Hey.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't answer.
No, well, you'd miss out on an opportunity then.
I wouldn't answer
Which,
that.
well,
So
You're not
I
the right
wouldn't
one.
answer that either. Actually.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, that
BJ, none of the
closes-
girls
But
are
it's- but
answering.
it's
They're not
because-
answering.
but
That
it's-
closes.
But it's
okay?
because of your profile.
That closes. Well,
If
yeah,
you
obviously,
click
if
on
I
your
had 600, if I
profile-
had 600 followers saying, "Hey, it's not gonna work," yeah, no, I'm lit
Okay.
as shit. They see me, they're like, "Oh, who's
So
this
you're
guy?"
coming from a perspective of that you've built your brand and social media represents.
Yeah, like what am I gonna
the
say? Like,
success.
you know, like there's
Correct.
you know. What
So
I mean?
you don't really have to do much because a lot of girls they see hey,
They're
and
looking
then they
for
look
me.
at your profile and they're like, oh hey,
Yeah,
that's a different hey.
It's a different hey.
That's a
It's
different hey.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Well, are
Yeah.
you worried
But the hay works.
that these girls that you're meeting,
yeah.
all right, hear me out, that they're only using you for money,
Yeah, of
access,
course.
Yes.
clout, network?
Of course, but I filtered
How
that
can
all
you
out.
trust that they're actually there to meet BJ,
Well,
who's
I
just a
filtered
nice
that
dude?
all out, and like what I find is like, you know, if she's rich and get her money, like she's not on it like that, you know.
You think
If
so?
she's rich,
No, what I find is rich women like that actually made their own money, like come from nothing and made their own money. Like they're looking for more affectionate stuff. They can buy whatever they want. They're looking for those things that they can't buy.
how
You know,
many
those
women
thoughtful
do you
things.
know that, and how did they make their money? These women that you're talking about, these rich, successful women.
Modeling,
Okay, modeling.
yeah, going viral and just being, you know, popular.
Gotcha. All right, modeling. Hey,
Darling.
But yeah, obviously girls will want nice things, but like I find that people that are like not so like kind of like ghetto minded, you know what I mean? Like they're not just trying to like because there's a lot of people that just try to take from you.
Have
But
you
if-
been used before by
Oh,
any of
they-
these girls?
I mean,
Knowing?
they'll try, you know, but I cut that off quick, you know, and like, I'll give you a little bit of a leash, but if I start seeing certain, you know, just certain habits, it just like it turns me off. It's just
How do
like
they?
disgusting.
How do they do it? Like, how does it
I mean,
work?
girls will do all different types of stuff. I can't tell you how many times a day I'm asked for money. Like, it's weird. Like,
Like,
it's
they're
like,
just like, oh, can
yeah,
you
can I
send
just
me-
have this for this? And it's like, no, you can't. Like, I don't
not
play
how you
them
do
games.
it.
Like, I mean, maybe when I was younger, I played those games a little bit. Now it's like, bro, like, get your own money. Like, why are you coming after? You know what I mean? You're coming after my pockets. We're not dating. You're not my wife. Like, if you was my wife, I'll break you off a couple $. Like, but we're
I
just
have
like,
more than a couple. They're like-
it depends on
You
the
just said something very interesting.
Yeah.
You said, I don't mess with girls who are ghetto minded.
yeah. Well,
Break down what you think ghetto minded means.
Well,
in
it's lack of.
today's society.
Okay, yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. So, like, I would consider like ghetto is just a scarcity mindset, if you want to put it that way. It's just you know a feeling of lack. You know, of like there's not this abundance mentality. I think if you have this mentality of abundance and it's not like the world isn't limited or your opportunities aren't limited, you're not trying to, you know, trip over dollars to pick up pennies, you know. And I think some women do that. Like they're trying to get $100 out of you, and it's like, but I can make you a millionaire.
I like that saying though.
yeah, triple.
What?
Trip over dollars.
They pick up pennies. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I see that all the time. And it's like they, instead of, and I tweeted this the other day, I thought it was pretty good. It's like, you know, I think a lot of people, like, instead of trying to think of how they could feed the goose, you know, they're thinking about how they could, you know, take from the goose, you know, and sometimes I feel like I'm the goose, you know, and I think if a lot more people realize, like, if they fed me, imagine what I'd do. You know, like I have a lot of people, don't get me wrong, I have parasites all on me trying to like take here, take there, take that. And then these people realize like they would get a lot more if they fed into me. They'd end up getting 100 million times more than what they'd get trying to take nickels and dimes and, you know, whatever falls off the table.
So spit some game for the ladies in the I know there's some
Yeah.
ladies in the chat. What is maybe the top 3 ways that you feel like the best way to feed a guy who is successful?
Yeah.
And has
well,
worked
I
hard
think,
like you?
yeah, it's a great question. And I think supporting their dreams, being very supportive as far as like understanding their vision, like ask real questions. And like, if you really want to date a real man, like you should want to know what his vision is and what world is he trying to create.
Okay.
And then really get into that, like, you know, like participate in that. I think
Add value.
yeah,
to
add
it.
value to that. It's like, oh, okay, I see this is where he's going. So how can I use my goals and stuff, and how can I assist in this manner, and like we go here together, you know? And I think it's like getting on the same page as far as like how do we see the world? What do we want? How do we want to live 10, 20, 30 years from now?
Right.
And then let's get to work together.
So support
Yeah, support.
the other 2.
Support. I think. Reiterate the question real quick. I'm sorry.
What ways do you look for women to feed you?
Yeah,
in your terms?
so support. I think ideas like genuine criticism or feedback, but not from an argumentative perspective, but from like a constructive, like collaborative perspective. I think certain women sometimes are very combative. Like they want to take the opposite side of the argument just cause, rather than have this kind of like cooperative type of situation. And I think like, and that's in all relationships, not just men and women, but I think when you go into something that's like have this kind of cooperative discourse where we're not talking at each other, but we're talking with each other. And I think that's very important to, to have that discourse in that sort of way, and not be like, oh, I'm, just like arguing back and forth about dumb shit. Like I can't stand that, to be honest, actually. And not distracting my mind. I think that's extremely important. I think relationships that I've had in the past that didn't work out, it was just silly nonsense that was distracting my mind. And it's like, my mind is super powerful and super valuable. It's like, for you to throw this like dumb shit into my world right now, it just like, you know what I mean? Especially if you're not really like helping out, like you just living, like, you know what I mean? Like stay the fuck out of my mind. You know what I mean? Like,
fair enough.
So this concept of vision, I think part of the reason that we're talking about this entire subject is because one of the things I always say is that money doesn't live in a vacuum. Success doesn't live in a vacuum. Because you've attracted money and success to your life, you're going to attract other things, whether that's people, whether that's women, relationships, business partners. Amazing. Part of the challenge that I see with women out there today is when they should start actually trusting your vision and tapping into your vision.
Yeah.
Meaning, okay, so you're dating a girl for a little while. You're having a good time. She's living her life.
Yep.
You're living your life. But let's say your life is here and her life is here. I'm not saying that she's a millionaire or multimillionaire or has a million followers, but she's doing her thing. Hell, maybe she hasn't done shit yet. But part of the challenge is it's almost like a trust factor. Why would a woman give up on her dream, her vision, to start basically helping you fulfill yours?
Yeah, and I think that's a
what have
great
you
point out.
experienced in that?
Well, so I think, and it's not just a man-woman thing either, because I think when you're building a team with also men, it's the same type of situation. And it's not to like when you have a big dream and vision, you have to make sure that you're not painting a seagull in someone else's picture, So you got to really understand what they want as well. So it's a two-way street. So like you got to understand her goals, and if her goals aren't in line with what you're trying to accomplish, then it's not really a good fit. But if you find out her goals and what her vision is, and it's kind of similar, now you guys can start kind of weaving them together, But as far as like, so I wouldn't necessarily like, you're not trying to override or domineer. It's more or less like, this is where I'm going. Where are you going? And let's see if we can kind of mesh these worlds and like assist each other. I love this quote, man. It says, when two or more agree in a single house, they can tell a mountain to move and it'll move. And that comes from the Bible. And it's very true. And so I look at all my relationships like that. It's like masterminds. Like when I read Napoleon Hill's Law of Success and he discussed the law of the mastermind, I wish I would have took more of it serious other than just that part in the beginning. Like, honestly, the first like 4 years after reading that, it was like the law of the mastermind was just stuck in my head, and it was like, well, what about the other 16 laws? You know what I'm saying? So, but the law of the mastermind is extremely important. So I think in all your relationships, you want to cultivate that mastermind type of environment where you can feed off each other and, build.
Yeah, I think that's something super important to establish in relationships because look, there's rules and there's exceptions. The general rule is that the man is the leader, the woman sort of follows. And I'm not saying follow as if they're like a puppy dog following you. They're on your page.
Yeah.
Okay, most of the time it's the man who is the provider, the protector.
But I think most women kind of want that anyways, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree. But at some point they need to buy in.
Yes.
I think what I've experienced, and this is where I want to get kind of the ladies' perspective, is that delicate balance and that delicate dance of, hey, I'm doing this is my dream, where you have your thing going on. They might not be aligned whatsoever, but at a certain point, a woman is going to have to maybe put her ego aside and say, all right, let me get on my man's dream. Or she's selfish and she almost just kind of fulfilling
I feel like if she doesn't feel that way, she hasn't found the right man.
Well, that's essentially, I think, what it comes down to. And I want to get the ladies' perspective is like, at what point do you put your dream, your goal aside to help your man better his vision? Does that make sense? So like Fosh, you're having your success independently. You've had relationships, you've had things going on in your life. At some point, if you want to have a family, if you want to have kids, if you want to jump into a man's dream and vision, you're going to almost have to take a back seat. That might not be easy for someone who's trying to build her own brand, her own company, trying to kind of be her own person.
That's very good.
What I want to understand is the woman's mindset as how you have to shift. A guy very rarely has to be like, okay, I've got my dream, but I'm going to give it all up to be a house dad.
No.
That's not a fucking thing. Okay? It's,
Yeah, no, you're right. This is a great point.
Yeah,
no, it's a great point.
Actually,
a girl
I would-
has
I
to
would-
jump on her man's vision.
I
Especially
wouldn't
though-
mind doing that for my man. I really
Okay,
wouldn't.
you wouldn't.
No,
But
I have no
I
idea.
want to understand that delicate balance. You wouldn't mind doing that, but how would you actively do that? Because
So-
you're in the process of creating your own brand.
So
At
what-
some point, there's going to need to be a shift and say, all right, gorgeous Fosh is now going to be supporting,
Well,
her
it's
man.
kind of like you creep up into it too. Like you start posting more relationship things. That's how I would do it. I would first introduce my new relationship, and then pop out pregnant. No, just
So you're saying step one, I'm going to go Insta official with my man.
yeah.
That's
Start.
a fucking
Yeah.
big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, if
Going
like
Insta official.
Yeah, that's
I'd be
a big
like,
deal.
ta-da! Here's my man, everybody.
It starts
Wow.
with an elbow.
Bae.
It starts with a hand. The cheers. We all
So
know this.
introduce Bay, and then that's when I would actually feel like we're going somewhere long term.
Yeah.
And
Well, can
I don't
imagine
know if
that's a
there's
big-
like a product or something because I already have my brand. It will actually probably be a lot easier for me to market because a lot of men follow me anyway. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something
There's some different
my man's
sponsors.
doing
Yeah.
that
You
I
don't
could
think you're
market
going to lose
to.
a lot of followers by posting your man?
No, because if my man is doing something where he's like doing digital marketing, which I would be
Yeah.
able to help him promote it to my followers. as
I
well.
have to respectively disagree. You're going to lose
What?
so many followers when you post BJ as your
But-
new man. They're gonna be like, fuck this dude.
But
I
her
thought I had a
engagement will
chance.
go up.
Really?
Yes, because
Look at
she's
that.
gonna
Branding
lose.
and marketing
She's
expert
gonna
right there.
lose.
Get
She's
it,
gonna
get it.
lose the people that aren't real fans. Like someone that's staring at your cookies ain't a real fan. Like you want people that genuinely vibe with who you are.
You know what I would think too? I think that the men that follow me would be interested in why I chose my partner.
Yeah.
So they would be invested in getting to know more.
Now there you
about
go.
Which can be
That's
really
a great
beneficial.
content right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I chose my man and made him Instagram official.
Yeah.
Viral. Natalya, you're a
Yes.
girl who's out there. You don't have Fosh's
Following.
Insta clout,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
all
That
1,400
smiles.
followers
That smile's
love
coming
you.
though.
I'm actually almost 5,000.
I know.
So I
You're
appreciate
getting
it.
But
You got to say
know,
some more controversial shit. That's what you got to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I've said this.
I said for every 3 haters, you get 1 fan.
There we go. I like that.
I've said this behind the scenes to Nat. Nat would be the perfect girlfriend to breathe life and confidence into her man.
Oh, I agree. She's got a real good vibe. over
Nat's
there.
the type of girl that would take a guy who's like kind of getting there, kind of doing his thing, and she would be like, "You got this, baby." Like almost
Are you
like
a Taurus?
I am a Taurus.
we just figured
I'm
it
a
out.
Taurus.
That was,
I'm
Yeah.
by the
telling
way,
you.
I knew I
top
could
10
feel it.
high
High
five
five.
I've ever heard
Yeah,
in my
that was a
life.
great
I can
Yeah.
feel it.
But Nat, you would
But she's
breathe
so
life.
earthy, doesn't she give you earthy
She
vibes?
does,
She's
yeah,
just
she
so
does.
like just grounded. You know what I mean? Because I'm like I'm up here. You know what I mean? Like and I can just feel it.
Very grounded.
Yeah, it's very
So
grounded.
I feel like you would breathe life into your man.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, you're working on your own thing. You've got
Yeah.
dreams, you've got hopes, you've got goals, you've got some bathwater to sell. You're out there.
Yes.
Okay? At what point for you would you put your dreams aside? Maybe, I'm not saying remove them, but maybe put them
But
in
what
the
if
back
the dreams
seat.
are children and family, Adam? What if that's the dream?
Literally, that's my dream.
What would you do
Part of my dream.
to put that aside to support your man?
I think it's a process. I think whoever is chosen as my man, it would be a process into that. I think that's something that I would have to internally like accept and then move accordingly from there. I wouldn't say that it would be easy because I do love what I do. I do love where I am. And I also do think whoever is chosen, they will also get that benefit because, of where I am and who, I have access to. So that's also something that I also keep to a high standard. So before I pick a guy, as much as it's like I'm their prize and so on and so forth.
Yeah, can I bring him into my world?
And at the end of the day, it's like I also have access to things that they don't have access to, and I hold that very.
And you're
kind
not
of,
trying to introduce a knucklehead.
Yes, I'm very,
get
very
it.
strategic who I want to bring around because I also don't want to feel like I'm being used for my resources.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I keep that to a super high standard. So. I think once I meet somebody and I feel like this is someone I want to pursue and I want to have kids and I want to have a family, that will be a process that I will have to go through. I don't think it's going to be easy. But I think it's going to be a journey. So I think it's just a matter of finding somebody who wants to go along that journey with me. Like if I find someone, they're like, no, you have to quit what you're doing. You have to stop what you're doing. And like, just come be a housewife. I can guarantee you I'm not going to choose you as a person.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can call me what you want.
But you're not opposed to doing that.
But I'm not opposed.
But the person that does that, there's something
Correct.
else going on.
And
Yeah.
the thing is that the person that I do choose, they wouldn't want me to do that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want me to do
Yeah.
that. So I don't think I'm going to go get the highest value football player with all this money and, you know, I can just stop what I'm doing to go travel with them, because if I were to pick a guy that would need
Well,
someone
you're not going to be
to,
traveling if he plays football.
I wouldn't.
They got a very strict
I don't
regimen.
even shoot for guys like that. Like I see men like that, and I, you know, props to them, and I think there's women out there for them. But I wouldn't put myself in that category of like, oh, I want to go marry an athlete and then be on the field every day of the week and help him prepare for his like.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't feel
couldn't
like
see
your vibe.
myself doing that, unfortunately. As much as the lifestyle looks amazing, you said something earlier that was very crucial. Was that sometimes with women with money, I'm not saying I have money, but sometimes with women with money, they're not looking for men with money per se. You know, they're looking for affection. I think that's where I come a little bit more on that end, is I'm looking for more of that depthness with the
Thoughtfulness.
person.
Yeah.
Not so much money. You know, I've seen money, I've been around people with money, and I value money to a very high standard. It is a standard that I do want to keep, but it's not like, oh, you know, he's making
He's gotta
only,
buy you a Birkin,
he
you
has
know,
to buy me a Birkin
every
bag on
week.
a Tuesday.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not
yeah.
gonna die.
Yeah.
So I think all I can say is that I know it's gonna be a process, and I think the right man will want to go through that process with me, and I will find my husband who will give me my kids.
And I will find my husband.
Yes,
She's gonna hunt
I
him
will
down.
find him.
Well, anyway, final point here. I think these are the types of conversations that you need to have to yourself as a man. Like, what type of woman are you looking for to bring into your life? Like, we did a poll, I want to say a week or two ago. What percentage of the bills are you going to pay for your woman? And the majority of guys were
All of
like,
it.
all of it, 80% of it.
I mean, she
Very
can help out
few
if she wants
guys
to
are
help
trying to
out, but
do-
it's already a foregone conclusion. Like, I mean, I never go into any situation thinking she gonna split the bills with me. I don't like splitting nothing. Like, you go out to dinner, like that's why I don't go out with a lot of people, and I only go out with people that are real people, because like, I'm just gonna pay the bill. I'm not gonna sit here, divide it up, like fuck out of here. But
Thank
at the
you.
same time, I'm not about to go out with you again if I'm always paying the bill. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I can't pay the bill. It's just that like, show some respect. You know what I mean? Are we friends, or are you just like?
So when
around
would
for
you
a
have
ride?
your girl pay?
Nah, I wouldn't have my girl pay, period. Like, I'd have her pay if she was really insistent. Like, yo, I want to take care of this. Or it's a special occasion, or I want to treat you. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you got to let, you know what I mean? Women, they appreciate that, too. They want to take care of their man. They want to do things.
Do
So,
they?
Like,
I
I
don't.
think the right one.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't.
Never?
I don't
There you
know.
go.
I don't want to pay for dinner, but
Ever?
I'll buy.
Like, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years in. You're not like,
know what
hey,
I
let me
would
catch
buy?
that
BJ.
real quick.
You know. What,
Ever.
you know what I
Ever?
would buy? I would buy him like a Gatorade or something from the store. Like
Jesus Christ, Posh. You know you're about to get some hate right now,
Yeah,
Posh.
she's
I would
going
be like,
viral.
Homie's giving you the world.
That's canceled.
No,
That's
no.
canceled
They're gonna
material.
cancel me
Giving
for
you
this
the world.
too.
You just bought him a Gatorade Zero.
Yeah, she's going to $1 million now. She's going to do all the
Get
way.
canceled. But no, like I'm saying, like I do think men appreciate like little gifts like that.
Yeah.
Like if like one day I come home and I have like the Gatorade, and I'm
Well,
like,
that's
hey
the
babe, I
thing.
got you a Gatorade. They're like, oh my god, you thought about me.
Yeah,
Gatorade.
maybe not a
But like I feel like
I
it's
agree.
emasculating to a man if you're paying for the dinner. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I agree in a certain regard, like, right, because like even if she offered, I'd still be like, nah, I'm taking care of it. But like a random kind of gift or thoughtful thing, or like that stuff means a lot.
No,
you know?
I agree with thoughtful things
Yeah.
like jewelry and
Yeah, or
like
just thoughts.
wallets, stuff like that.
Yeah, just like, hey, I was
Special
thinking about you,
occasions.
or
I
you know
like
what I
stuff
mean.
like- I do stuff like that.
All right,
yeah.
Fosh, I have to ask you this question. Let's hone in on this.
What?
Your man, the type of man that you want to be with, he's going to give you the world.
Yes.
House, car, jewelry, tiara on the head, looking gorgeous. You're living your life. And in return, he's going to get a Gatorade Zero. Respect.
He's gonna get the
No
Gatorade.
calories, no sugar.
There you go.
I want to know, Fosh. Let's get here. What are you going to do for him when he gives you the world and you bring him a Gatorade? What are you bringing to the table other than being sexy? Go ahead.
The sex and the kids.
Okay.
And just nurturing and loving and being a good support person, like when he needs somebody to talk to. Giving him business ideas too, like intellect. I feel like that's really important. So like we're bouncing ideas off of each other.
So I want you to think about this. Give me the top 3 things other
And I think
than sex
she
that
just
you're going to bring
she
to
just
the
touched
table.
on something
Other
important,
than
Adam.
sex.
I think that unique female perspective is extremely important.
Well, I want to know what she's going to bring.
Other than sex.
Other than sex, multimillionaire wipes you up. He says, I'm giving you the world. You give him a Gatorade. And then he says, now, I want to know what you're going to do
That's
for
going
me
viral.
other than the sex. The
It
sex
really is, though.
The sex is an obvious thing. You're together. So give me your top 3.
Nurturing, loving, companionship.
So essentially
So,
what
like,
you're saying
support.
is you're going to bring him your feminine energy.
Feminine energy, yeah.
And I think only you can answer this. What will your feminine energy, if you truly give it to this dude, truly give it to him, what would that do for his life?
I think that would make him like feel more at ease, because I feel like men have to go out into the world and compete and be very like aggressive. So when he comes home, he wants to be like, chill and have somebody to like wind down with, relax, and feel like he can talk to, kiss, love, stuff like that. Not feel like he has to go out and not feel like he has to come home and be like angry.
Okay, so when he comes home and he is, let's say, angry, he had a rough day. Things are tough. He's out there slaying the dragon, doing deals, real estate, marketing, whatever it is. Not easy to being a man out there making money. And they say more money, more problems. Your dude's making money. How would you make him feel better? Like, what would you say? Give me a little glimpse as to, I come in the door. Let's role play. I come in the door. Oh, fucking rough day today. There's my girl, Fosh. Hey, honey.
No,
Here's a Gatorade. Boom. Boom. Walk me through what you'd say. Like, genuinely.
I feel like I would just go up to him and give him a kiss at the door and ask him how his day was. I feel like I'm a very affectionate person with my partner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very like touchy, kissy. Like, you have to drag me off of my partner.
You Cancer?
Nice.
I am a Cancer.
I'm fucking
Holy
good.
shit,
2
this
for
guy's
2,
nailing
baby.
it. Deli,
2 for 2.
turn her up, please.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I want to
I'm
keep
a
hearing you though.
Cancer.
All right. I could
So
feel
I'm like
it.
very like I'm the mother of the signs. So yeah, I would go to the door. I'd be like, hey babe, kiss him, touch him, and ask him how his day is going.
Okay, let's stay there for a second. Thank you for the kiss. Life's good. I genuinely want to know, from a beautiful woman's perspective, you're home, you're taking care of the house, the family, whatever. Is your number one concern to find out about his day, or do you want to talk about your day, genuinely?
I actually want to know about his day.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
why.
So you'd rather know about his day than tell him about yours?
Yeah, because what am I doing? I'm probably in the house anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying,
Honestly-
but that doesn't mean that you
Okay.
wouldn't rather share it. So you'd rather listen than to share.
I'm more like, my natural state anyway is an introvert. Like, I usually just let people talk, and I don't mind listening to people and giving like minor feedback here and there. So yeah.
All right,
I do
Natalya,
Yes.
your man walked in the door. Let's say his name's Adam. I don't know.
He's Adam.
We're just playing games. We're just playing games.
You
All
guys
right.
are funny.
I just walked in the door.
I think we're going to the boardwalk later.
Nat's
That's
so
what it's
funny.
called, right?
Nat's
Where
the
we
type
going?
of girl.
Boatyard.
Oh, the boatyard.
She's
That's
gonna have
where
her
we're going.
heels on. She's gonna come. How you doing? Walk me through what you want to know about your man. He's supporting you.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing. Are you bringing him a Gatorade? Is there something you cooking dinner?
the fucking Gatorade.
The Gatorade's a real thing.
Now we're going to that.
Just to be clear, I love some Gatorade. That's why I'm like,
with you and
I like
That's
the
why I'm on
red one
this.
though. The fucking
Ladies,
zero. You
by
got
the
zero.
way-
You show up with a Gatorade zero. You're out of here.
funny.
oh, I totally
I need some
disagree with
sugar
that.
in my
no,
shit.
BJ,
hey,
I'll fight you to the death
All right,
right now.
all right. I know you're on the health kick.
If you bring
but-
me a regular Gatorade or a regular Coke, we got some fucking
You need
problems.
the zero?
You bring me a Coke Zero, a Diet Coke, or a Gatorade
That's
Zero.
so Adam.
Or keep it moving.
Gatorade
If
Zero.
you don't know that I'm not trying to have sugar in my life, the only
Yeah.
sugar I want in my life
See, I'm addicted,
is that
bro.
brown sugar right there,
Oh,
okay?
I feel that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
I'm addicted to
Anyway,
sugar.
Natalya, Adam walks in the door. Here you are. Honey, I'm home. What have you cooked? What have you done? What have you brought to the table? What do you want to know about his day? Are you going to share with him? We're doing case examples of your ladies' lives. What you got,
Gotcha.
Nat?
So ideally, I would like obviously the house to be cleaned, candles to be lit. It smells good when you walk in, so instantly the aroma kind of gives you some sense of peace. I would like some food to be prepared if it's
Well, hold
a
on.
pastry.
Are you preparing the food?
Of
What do you
course,
mean?
of
What you would
course.
like to be prepared?
Of course, but maybe like
maybe
I
she got
have
a
some
chef.
like catering or something too.
Okay.
Like maybe
Yeah.
we're doing
Maybe she's
something
just overseeing
different.
the
Maybe a
staff.
Jamaican party.
Maybe some Jamaican patties I brought. And then I genuinely want to know about their day.
Okay.
I think that's very interesting for me because then I can kind of figure out like what role do I play for you today.
All right.
You know, how do I kind of put your mind at ease after you've had a long, stressful day?
Got it.
And
All
then
right.
through that, I think then their interest was like, you know what, babe? Like, how's your day? Like, what'd you do today? And then that comes in. But I think my main concern is like, I need your mind to be at ease so that you can give me the attention that I'm looking for.
I like this. Now, question to the ladies, and then I want BJ to kind of give his ideal day. Question to the ladies. What percentage of women out there are treating their man the way that you guys just expressed you would treat your man? You're home, you're ready, you're feminine, you're gorgeous, food's there, it's smelling nice. How was your day, baby? Making it about him, apparently. What percentage of women do you think agree with your mindset versus like they're more takers and they want to, what can their man do for them? What do you think?
What percentage of women?
Yeah, what percentage of women are like more looking to extract value than give value from their man?
I'd say hopefully with all this content that's been going around, the number has gotten bigger. So I'll shoot for we'll say like 35% of women would ideally want to welcome their man in that
And that's
way.
crazy
Okay.
when you think
I
about
would
it. Because
say-
when you said that, right?
Yeah.
Like you think about like 50 years ago, it was
Yeah.
probably 90%.
Yes, exactly. But then it
So
went
the fact
down.
that we're like, the fact that we're working back
Yeah,
up to this
we're
number
working
where we
back
was
up.
already
Working
there.
backwards.
Absolutely.
So you're
it's
saying
different.
1/3 of women are going to be about their man, 2/3 about themselves. Fosh, what do you think? Today's society, man walks in the door, is the woman going to be more feminine and friendly, or are they going to be a little bit more
Question.
about themselves?
Are they
I
married?
think-
They're together.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't live with my man.
Uh-oh, traditional
You gotta be
values taking
engaged
over.
I gotta
or
be
married.
engaged, yeah.
Okay.
I
Fair
think
enough.
it really depends on if the woman has to do a lot of work. Because if you are like, as a woman, if you have to do a lot of work, you're going to come home like, and you're masculine and you're going to be angry. So
But what happens when you don't do a lot of work and you just don't participate?
You either
you're in the house
appreciate
and
it-
you're bored and you can't wait for your man to get home.
you either appreciate it or you what's the word I'm looking for? Like despise. I think it's one or the other. I think you have women who appreciate it and then you have women who are like, oh, all he does is work all day and doesn't give me any attention and then he
Yeah.
comes home pissed off and now I have to deal with this pissed off man. So I think it's really there's a lot of layers to it. But I think those are like your two far left and right options.
Well,
per se.
you're talking about traditional gender roles,
Yeah.
you know, masculine roles, feminine roles. You know, this concept of work-life balance, right? How much are you working? How much are you spending time doing what you want to do?
And that's why I think it's
go a level
important, Adam, like
deeper
you're
with-
saying, is like you got to get on the same page of goals. I feel like if you're on the same page as goals, it kind of fixes a lot of those problems.
As goal. All right. So if you're on this work-life balance, so it also comes down to who's paying the bills. Work-life balance.
Right.
So meaning, listen, respect to the women out there who are paying their own bills, doing their own thing, paying their own rent. All good. They rightfully so have at least the ability to do less for their man because their man's maybe not paying their bills, paying their rent, taking care of them. I think once that dynamic shifts, it is now incumbent on the woman to treat their man accordingly.
I agree.
And I think that's
agree.
kind of like the problem that this goes back to the initial problem is like, are women willing to let their man lead and they kind of take a back seat and they maybe on the bill side of things play a lesser role but be more of a homemaker, but do they have the ability to put away their ego and say, all right, my man's the leader of this household, I'm going to follow him? And because, last point, let's say the man's only making 60 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand. He's not going to be able to provide the lifestyle that maybe you want or that you're used to.
Yeah.
Even if he loves the fuck out of you, you're going to kind of resent the fact that he can't provide what that rich player kind of was bringing to the table. And then there's that resentment.
Yeah, but if you really love a guy, you're going to figure out a way how to get your guy to make more money.
I don't.
I
Agree
feel
with
like
that.
You don't agree with that?
I think so. I think if you really love a man, you're like, this guy fills all my boxes, right? But maybe he's going through a hard time in his business, right?
I can see that. Sometimes people they lack motivation and they lack ambition. So sometimes you can't change that. That's just a character.
Correct. Correct.
And if you see that, it's kind of like you kind of just gotta leave.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't
By
change.
the way,
You can't change people. They
You
can
can't
change
change the
themselves.
character.
I'm-
You gotta.
Yeah. Don't.
I'm gonna go what Nat said and what Fosh said. I'm gonna go with Fosh on this one. I'm on Team Fosh because I'll tell you what. I don't give a shit how much you love me.
Yeah.
If there's nothing you can say or do to make me go make more money.
Right.
Meaning, I'm
But
not
if
going to
you're
be
in a
like,
low point
give
in
me a
your
little
life-
speech here, Nat.
No.
Thank you for that.
And
I'm going
then
to go
on
kill
top
the
of
world.
that,
No.
and
But
on
you
top
could
of that,
If you're
participate.
giving your man speeches like that,
No, I wouldn't want to.
he's either has no drive or ambition, and you're just going to be like, I can't, like, this is the last time I'm giving this dude that speech.
Correct.
You're not going to be able to breathe life into him, where I think you would, which I was giving you a compliment earlier, when he already has that drive, ambition, he's already
Right.
building something, and he maybe has a hiccup, and then you can come in and be like, pick yourself up, you got this.
That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, but you're not going to be able to like, hey, loser, I love you.
No.
Go make something for yourself. He's like, all right, I
Yeah.
got a
It's not
job,
gonna
baby. What are you
No,
talking about?
that's different.
Yeah, okay.
That's different.
And
And the
Fosh ain't
concept-
playing that game.
No.
You're bringing a Gatorade to that guy. We know this.
And then the constant nagging too. Like, say for instance, they don't want to do much else. Like, they just want to live a very, minimalistic life. Not saying that overly expensive things are really important, but I'm saying if they're just
Comfortable.
comfortable with a very normal life,
Yeah. And you want more, it's not going to work.
I've noticed like what we've been
it's going
talking
to cause
about.
problems.
It all revolves around goals. Like goal setting. I think that's something that we never learned as kids. Like we went to school all this time and like no one ever told us how to set goals. And if you have a definite chief aim, it completely changes your life. We talked about the millions of followers, that changed your life too, but having a definite chief aim will probably get you to millions of followers. And
Having
then
a definite what? I'm sorry.
definite chief aim. That's what Napoleon Hill calls it. And it's a definiteness of purpose. And a great way of looking at it is like, if you're walking across the club, right, and you don't know where you're going, you're just gonna be just a sea of bodies and you're not gonna be able to bust through. But if you got a definite aim of like, I'm going there, right, people are gonna move out your way. The sea's just gonna part. And it's like, so that's how life works. It's like, do I have a definite purpose? Am I headed here, right? And like, if you are, she's gonna cooperate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna flow.
That's facts.
If you were like kind of unsure, you don't know where you're going, or you don't have any goals, like it just leaves everyone very confused. Like, what are we doing here? And I think goals up front are very hard to set. Like it's hard to like really get deep and then also think big enough. You know what I mean? So it's hard in the beginning, but like it's super important. Like before you even get out in the mix, you need to set your goals. You need to ask yourself these 7 questions. Okay, right here. You need to figure out, what do you want? Why do you want it? Okay. And the third question is, why don't you already have it? Okay, that's a major question. And the first couple answers are all going to be excuses. Those aren't actually the real reason. You need to get to the real core of why don't you already have what you're after, because we can create everything with our minds. So like if you want something and you don't have it, there's a specific reason. So tell yourself, why don't you already have it? And then figure out how many people you want to solve. What problem do you want to solve, right? How many people you want to solve it for? And then what do you want in return? And when will you accomplish this by? And if you can get those questions answered and you can boil it down into a sentence, like for me, I set this goal in 2015 to help 100 million people create financial freedom. Now, this goal, at the time, people where I come from didn't even want me to say that goal. They said, oh, it scares people, kind of keep that in the cut, like don't say that too much, And now where I'm at, it's like, damn, I should have said 1 billion people. I was thinking small as shit, you know what I mean? And but just setting goals is really tremendously helped me. Is like, I didn't know I was going to be doing the things I was going to be doing. I didn't know I was going to get into the social media. I didn't know I was going to get into any of these things. I didn't get into the industry. And a lot of people copied me in a lot of ways, where they're like, oh, Brian got rich off social media, like I could do it too. But they don't understand why I got into social media. I hate social media, like off rip, like how I came into it is like, I think it's stupid. But once I realized what it can be used for and how you can actually like push a message and build a community and like help people's lives and seeing the lives that have transformed over the years, it's like, it's super dope. But if you're not utilizing it for that perspective, then it's like, what are you doing?
I like that.
So I think it's like really coming up with like a clear, like, where am I going? You know what I mean? And if you can get super, super clear, the more likely you are to find a partner that's going to be able to see a similar vision. But if you don't have any idea, I think that's where most people fall flat. It's like they kind of know what they want, but it's like my dad actually said this. I love how he puts it. Is like you want to be focused like a laser beam, not a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Respect. By the way, dropping.
And I'm gonna have to talk
right.
to you about that vision to make it clear.
Yes,
and how to
we're
get there.
We're gonna get that.
Influencer
super clear.
marketing expert.
Yes,
Ryan
ma'am.
over here.
Yes.
Oh, that's an off-camera thing.
Yes. We're going.
Okay.
We're going out after
Off-camera.
this. You're coming,
Stay
Adam.
tuned for bonus content.
Yeah. bonus content.
BJ, let me ask you a follow-up on that.
Yeah.
Fully agree. We just did a big event right here. It was packed. It was a business planning workshop, and it was all about setting your goals.
Yep.
And having a vision.
And I
of
think
what
it's
you wanna
undervalued,
accomplish
to be
this
honest,
year.
Adam. I think when people say set goals, they like think it's like some kind of corny, cheesy shit. You know what I mean? It's like no one really knows how to do it. It's like this weird kind of ambiguous like space. And it's like the thing is like I think everyone's trying to think like focus on like what are my gifts, right? And what I realized is that God gave us one gift, and it's free will. It's the freedom to choose what you want to be good at. See, naturally, I'm not good at shit, okay? But I've gotten a lot of skills because I was like, I want to be good at that. And I just did it. I did the work. And I want to tell all y'all that if you do the work, you can be good at whatever you want to be. You could suck right now at it. And I love the way T. Harv Eker puts it. He says, every master was once a disaster. And that is the truth. So you got to be comfortable with being bad so you can be good. And how you get good at anything is by doing the work.
So these big goals that you're setting, right? So the problem with having big goals is that you're going to invite big haters to your life.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Bring them on, man. The problem is you don't have enough haters. Haters are not the problem. Haters are the solution.
How do you stay locked in? So if you're setting these big goals, right?
Yep.
And you have all these big dreams, big vision. People are going to be like, dude, you're fucking crazy, man.
Fuck yeah.
I can't believe
So
that
what you got to do is you got to get the fuck out your environment. The people that you grew up with are not going to see it, bro. They see you as fucking BJ when he was 12. You know what I'm saying? They don't see you as who you are and who you're going to become. So what you need to do is you need to change your environment. And it's very hard. Honestly, I had to let go of some people that I love a lot. We grew up together in the same neighborhood. And I wanted to ride this wave with them. I actually, back then, I would have seen them being on things like this with me. But I had to let those people go because it wasn't for them, and I had to ride my mission, and I had to do my thing, and then I found other people that are on the same vision. It's just like, the people that you grew up with are not the people that you're going to cross the finish line with, and that's just the truth of the matter. There might be some people later on, like even now in my life, like I have some good friends I was friends with. We were 2-3 years old. We've been friends our whole life, and we haven't seen each other for the past maybe 7-8 years, but now all of a sudden they seen what I've been doing, and they want to change their life. They want to improve their situation. They're posting on social media. They want to like really elevate. They want to essentially retire from their job and be financially free. But if I would have sat around and waited for these people to take action, I'd still be where they're at. I had to make moves. I had to do what I would do, and they'll catch up on their own time.
I think there's this concept of finding your running mates, right? Finding the partners you're gonna work with, the relationships, even like who you're dating, colleagues, who you're employing, all that. How do you determine, all right, these are the people I kind of want to run with? And then how do you literally go about dropping the
goals, Adam.
the excess baggage?
Goals, man. If they ain't got goals and they can't actually do the process, I give everyone those 7 questions. You don't answer those questions, I don't fuck with you. Straight up. You answer those questions, that's the people that changed my life. I got a guy who was living out of his car 2 years ago. He's got over 2 million followers now on Instagram. But you know what he did? He answered those fucking questions. He also listened to Jim Rohn, he listened to T. Harv Eker, and he started really building his mind, and he transformed himself out of it. Like, I can only help you so much. If you're not willing to do the work, put in the effort, and actually personally develop, there's nothing I can do for you.
Gotcha.
But if you're willing to really put in the effort, put in the work, and elevate your mind, then obviously you can mastermind with other people that are successful, and we can really make something happen.
All right, let's get into, we're talking about goals here. We're gonna transition for a second. Do you want to get to some super chats in a sec? Or?
Yeah, I can actually read the super chats.
Okay, so we'll get into some super chats real quick, and then we're gonna shift gears. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So first off, I like to thank you all for the super chats. So thank you all for the super chats. We appreciate all of you. We'll start out with the first one. Dog shit advice. To make a woman happen, you have to give her 3 things: affection, attention, and appreciation, because that always works. Then we have Sean Z. Romy and Michelle high school reunion. This guy. Stereotype where the geek went to the rich and the high school jock a scrub. People think only Brad Pitt looking like people think only Brad looking guys are successful. And then we have another one from him. He said, Nat, you just proved Morgan Stanley's economy theory. You have a golden ticket and decide to cash it in. Like Adam says, best of luck. Best of luck. Then we have CC. He just gave $20. We appreciate that. And that's all I see. Let me see if I get any more last minute or super chatters from everyone. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so those are the super chats. Thank you all for the super chats. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to like today's video and subscribe because we've got a lot of stuff cooking in the oven. So, Mr. Adam.
Okay, we're back.
Let's
so
go.
We'll wait for BJ to jump back.
Yes.
So what I want to get from you ladies is the concept of believing in your man's vision. Like at some point, the woman is going to need to jump on board with their man's vision. I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier. What does he need to show you, even if he hasn't made it yet? Stick with me, baby. I got this. You know how they say that most women don't want to go through the mission of working with a guy. They just kind of wait at the finish line and fuck the winners. Yeah. That's kind of what they say. But let's say you're dating a guy who has this vision. Is it, would you rather just find a guy who's already made it and just, accompany his life, or is it actually more beneficial for you to help build your man's dream?
I think it depends on where they are in the process of building. I feel like as a man, they're always going to be building something. So it depends on where they are in the process. But in the same breath, I don't want to be at the very bottom of the process either, because a man is going to be very not happy.
So
I don't want to be around that.
Where's a good starting point for you with a guy? Success level.
As far as what goes,
halfway through the journey, beginning of the journey, end of the journey.
you have something established already. With clear goals, and you're working extremely hard on it.
Very nice.
So to be clear, you want to jump on your man's journey when?
When it's already started.
When it's started, he already has it somewhat established. Not saying it's a super multi-million dollar company, but he's already working on it. He already has it set up, and that's his vision, his goal. Everything is already set. It's not like he's just I want to play basketball, and it's unrealistic because he's 28 years old.
So we all know that dude from our hometown.
You can just go to the Orsini in downtown Los Angeles if you want 28-year-old basketball players that aren't in the NBA.
To go where?
Orsini, downtown Los Angeles. There's every international basketball.
Hanging?
Those are strippers.
We all know those dudes who are 40. They're from our hometown, and they're still trying to make it as a rapper or whatever it may be. At some point, as a woman, do you ever say honey, I'm out?
Yes.
Or, hey, you need to change your dream. You need to change your vision. I don't think this is working for you. Or, hey, I believe in you. I want you to do this. These are the types of conversations that men and women are having behind closed doors that you just don't see. So if you're dating that 40-year-old rapper who still hasn't made it, this is a more of an example. What's the conversation sound like?
I'm sorry.
Meaning, if I'm dating some girl and she's 38 years old and she's still trying to be a model, and I'm like, baby, I love you, but I don't think Vogue is calling. I don't see it. So why don't you do this? That's not a conversation.
Mae Musk is 75.
I don't.
You never know.
I don't know. I don't think I struggle with that. I struggle with having those tough conversations to kind of bring you to your reality. I think I revert back to just leaving.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it's just like
Because
Sorry.
it's,
No,
you
but
said
I
leaving,
honestly-
right?
I would've said the
No,
same
because
thing.
Only because if you need me to tell
Yeah, if you
you,
need, yeah.
Nah,
this shit is
By
not
the way,
working.
this is-
Matt, wait.
I don't
No, but I need
trust
to
your.
back up
I
on
don't
that.
trust your judgment.
No, but I need to back up on
If you
that.
need me to
like,
tell you,
like
your
if
life
you're
isn't
that
working.
delusional at 40 years old, you think you're still playing basketball, you know what?
Yeah.
This is, you ever
I
seen
can't
that,
trust
It's giving delusion.
You ever seen that meme of Homer Simpson just going into the bushes? That's Nat right now with the Homer Simpson just like
Yeah, slide it down.
I am so sorry.
sliding out of that relationship.
I am guilty
Yeah.
of that. I am guilty of just
Guilty of
like
what?
like if I see,
See, I think it'd
like
be the
say
other
I'm
way.
dating a guy and things are going great and maybe he's not super successful but he's working on his way there, but I'm seeing like habits and things and it's not moving in the direction that he's painted the picture where it's supposed to. I revert back to kind of just like I need some distance. I don't want to do this anymore, and kind of ended that way. Abort. Because
I'm telling you guys.
because my thing
This
is
is
like.
how these women think, y'all.
But listen, there's
They
for
are
a
not
reason.
just gonna sit on your dream forever.
If you want a woman to follow you because men lead as they should, you also have to show proof of like good judgment. If you can't judge yourself and you see yourself
Rightfully
40
so.
and your shit is not working, girl, you need to leave.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you need
rightfully
to go
so though. Like, you don't
quickly.
even want that.
Yeah, because then you're like, well, your judgment is obviously not done. It's not well enough to see that what you're doing is not leading to success. So I'm going to protect myself and the time that I have with the dreams that I want and the man that I want and go look for that. And if you feel like this is what you need to pursue and there's a woman who wants to go with you through that process, then you deserve her. You don't deserve me, right? So I'm not essentially good enough for a man like that in that sense. But I just know, like, for me, if you can't judge yourself, you can't self-judge yourself correctly and see where you're going and know it's not good, then I gotta go.
Yeah.
These girls will not. These girls will jump ship. I'll say this. I've been in relationships when I've expressed what I want to do, right? This show is an example. This came in the idea of me even just hosting a show, talking about money, life, success, relationships, all that. It's kind of manifested in 2016 when I, what I would call that chilling phase of my life. The girl I was with almost laughed at my dream. Hey, this is what I kind of want to do. And she would be like, just stick with what you're doing. Like, stop, almost like she's like, that's your thing. That doesn't really coincide with where I'm at in life. And let's just stay on this path together. And as a guy, you know that some things just eat you up inside. Like publicly, if your girl disrespects you or embarrasses
Yes.
you or shoots down your
It's
dreams
over.
So
publicly,
It's over.
It's like, yo, can I have a word with you in the bathroom real quick?
Yeah.
Huh? So there's nothing worse than
I
that.
think public
But
disrespect
what they
unforgivable.
can do, if assuming you break up, is fuel your fire like no other.
See? Maybe
Fuel
that's
your
what-
fire like, and you think back and you're like, that stupid bitch fucking wanted me to give up on my dreams.
I think
it's
you're
like, how you like
welcome.
me now?
I think a lot of men do that though. I think
Yes.
men and women actually heartbreak,
Be a
pain
motivator.
Oh.
makes you like do incredible things.
A 1,000%.
110,000%.
I think pain and love, both of those. You could do it out of love too. You gotta
Yeah,
tap
I
into
think
that.
love will make you do some things, but heartbreak
I don't just mean love
will
for
make
people
you
though, Adam.
like reach
I'm not
down
talking
to
about
the
love
depths of your
sexually.
soul and just
Yes.
completely be like, all right, dust yourself off and show these motherfuckers
Yeah.
what you got.
Yeah.
You have to prove yourself.
Like every
after
guy knows what
heartbreak.
I'm talking about. When a girl breaks your heart, or a business partner stabs you in the back, or a parent tells you ain't shit, whatever it is, when someone disrespects you and doesn't believe in you, at first you kind of got to take it in the chin, and you may feel sad, depressed, cry, whatever it is. But at some point, you have to fuel that fire and be like, all right, let me show you what
I
I'm made
think
of.
That's how I
and
feel.
I think
believe.
That's
wait,
how
wait,
guys they
wait.
need to
But that
operate.
I
works
think
for a
that
certain
makes
amount
a
of
lot of
time, though.
entrepreneurs actually.
Yes.
What's
Yeah,
that?
no,
I
it
think that
does.
makes a lot of entrepreneurs.
But they always
100%.
fizzle out though. If that's their only
Pain.
motivation, they're always empty. You can see it in them. Like the only people that really make it are the ones that are doing it for something bigger than that. Like if the only reason you're hustling is because a girl broke your heart, you're a simpleton.
Well, that can just be a jump start. Maybe
Real
that's a
shit.
jump start for you to
no,
start
I'm
going
saying
to
it
the
could
gym
be.
and
No, it
doing
could be
all
a jump
those-
start for
yeah.
sure. But that's all it is. It's just to get you
Correct.
moving. Because like if that's all it is, bro, that's gonna fizzle out.
No,
this challenge is too
I
hard.
will agree with you.
You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
jump start.
Yeah.
It's almost
Yes.
like to bring you back to life.
Yes.
If 4 years later you're still
No,
like,
I can get
I'll
you
show
good.
you, bitch.
No.
It's like, no. It's like
Yeah.
at some point
Yeah,
you need to
you
like
need to graduate
move on and graduate
But it
from the
could be that
hatred.
spark that really gets you going.
But you
for sure.
know that, and by the way, when you're talking about vision, a goal, a company, starting something, being an entrepreneur, building something, and 4 years later removed, you're no longer thinking of that girl. You might have a new girlfriend, whatever it is. But when someone asks you, so how did you find your success? There's always these aha moments where it's like, well, this girl at the time I was dating didn't believe in me. And I started saying, oh, and because you're questioning yourself, is she right? Should I not believe in myself? Should I give up on my dreams? I don't know. I've got these big goals. People are telling me that I'm freaking crazy. I don't know. And you use that as a spark plug. Clearly,
Yeah.
4 years later, you're not going to be like working out, be like, I'll show you, Veronica. You know, that's not what it is. Because your vision has to be big. Your goals have to be big. But sometimes you need to be
No, you need a little
thankful
pain.
for someone hating on your dreams.
Yes.
1000%.
And disrespecting your vision.
1000%.
Because that's fuel to your fire. I just think that.
Yep.
Anyway, cheers, guys. You know, we're about an hour in. We got about a half hour left.
more?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Everybody behaving. Fosh needs that. All right, guys, I want to stay right here on this concept of age 30. I think age 30 in today's time is probably the most important age for a man and a woman. And I'll explain why. And it's different. By 30, a man should at least have the general sense of where they're going. I don't think you need to have anything figured out by 30. I don't think you need to have all your plans set up, but at least you should know what at least career you're in, at least what you stand for, kind of where you're going. And then in your 30s is really where you can kind of take off and catapult to another level. Most men don't make the majority of their money until they're in their 40s or even 50s. So men are status objects. And if you're judging status by money, fame, clout, resources, network, all that, a lot of times that doesn't manifest until your 40s. Cool. So good things take time. That's a man's thing. Women, by age 30, it's a different ballgame. I think women, because women are beauty objects, we've seen the distribution of sexual market value. Men have money, which is 50%, resources and status, that's 50%. And then there's 25% of it that is like your age and your looks as a man, how you look and then another 25% is your personality and your game. So there's this sort of equal distribution as how a man is judged by women in the marketplace. Women are exactly the opposite. Women, it's an 80% viewpoint, sexual market value on their looks and their beauty. And then there's distribution between their game, their resources, their attractiveness, their looks, beyond the 80%. So my question is this. You know, you were Forbes 30 under 30, okay? Very few men make it to Forbes 30 under 30. Very few men makes it under Forbes 40 under 40. Fuck, I just lied about my age to try to make it under the 40 under 40. I'm trying here. But you've essentially gone from like zero to hero. You grew up in Connecticut, not exactly a rich guy. Not in the nicest part.
Yeah.
Allegedly, you flew out to California for a business meeting
trip. Yeah.
and then just never returned.
Yes.
You know, what did you learn on that grind from becoming broke as a joke to a multimillionaire by age 30? What was that concept?
I learned a lot. You know, I learned that what we focus on grows. I also learned, like, where I came from, all I was looking for was someone to actually hear me. Like, honestly, like, I just want to be heard. I think that was what my motivation was with growing my social media audience originally, is I wanted to have a voice and I wanted people to respect my angle, you know, and what I had to say. And but then what happened was when I started getting that, I realized that not everyone that's listening is listening for you. And not everyone that's nice has the best of intentions, you know? So really that whole experience really taught me a lot. It taught me that, you know, someone could pay you a lot of money, not because they like you, but because they want to know what you're doing.
What do you think are the most, not for you, the most tangible goals that a man should have by age 30? Financially, relationship-wise, life goals. Give me a checklist.
Well, yeah, so you got to have, I would have clear, you need a definite chief aim by at least that time you're 30 years old.
Fame by 30?
No, definite chief aim.
Oh, aim.
A definite chief aim. You need to have very clear, you know, perspective of this is what I'm going to accomplish. I think that's extremely important to definitely get very clear as far as, like, this is where I'm going, you know.
And then relationship goals, life goals, what else?
So as far as, I think relationship goals, I think you got, it's kind of interesting because, like, in dating, what I find like over time is that like women are really quick to want to jump into a relationship, especially once you've been intimate, once you've been romantic. They like want to be in a relationship, which is respectful, and you like kind of expect that. At the same time, I feel like as a young man, you can kind of get yourself in a relationship that maybe like it was cool for like a couple weeks, maybe a year or so, but it wasn't really, she's not the forever thing. And it's like, you shouldn't really be like wasting her time or wasting your time, you know? And I think sometimes you might get trapped in a relationship just because like it's easy and this is what we've been doing and this is what it is, right? But it's not really the real situation. You're just kind of like, it's just a pit
I have a
stop.
question.
Yeah.
So what age do you feel like guys figure out, okay, this is
Like,
where
this is what I want? I would say by 30. I think like 30, 32, I think you're starting to, as a man, you're starting to get serious. Like, yo, this, and you've also had enough dating experience where you're like, I like this, I don't like this, you know, like, and you've also maybe even lived with a couple women by that point if you've been on your shit, you know? So like, you kind of understand, like, because that's a different kind of vibe too, is like when you actually live with a woman, like you start seeing like how your habits and how your things, you know, how they mesh, you know, like you could have a very good relationship and then once you live with someone, it's like, oh, that fucking thing they do, like, I
So
can't
what
stand
makes
it. You know?
one man choose one woman and then the other? Like,
I think it comes down to headaches, to be honest with you. Like, honestly, I think it's that simple.
This girl helps me out. This girl's a fucking headache. All
Fucking
right.
ass. Like, honestly, like, obviously looks, like, you want to be with someone that's attractive, obviously, but that's like, that's not, at least for me, and I think for most men, that's really like, you want to be with someone that's attractive, obviously, but at the same time, you want to be someone that supports you and makes you feel good about yourself. Like, she could be super bad, but if she makes you feel like shit about yourself, like, that's not really someone who you want to be with, you know? And it's not really going to help you get where you're trying to go.
So for a man by age 30, you said that he should have his chief aim.
Yeah, definitely. He should have a definite chief aim where he's trying to go. And then also by that time too, you should have a general idea of what type of woman you like. Like what am I looking for? Like, is she into this? Is she into that? Like, who do I want to be with? Like, and what I find too is like what we focus on grows, and what you think about like attracts to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, who you're becoming is what you're attracting. So if you can get very clear actually of what you're looking for, like, I'd be surprised if you don't find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the key is not, like, what happens is most people, I love this Les Brown quote. He says, it's not that people aim too high and miss. They aim too low and hit. Okay? And that's one of my favorite quotes, is because, like, that's the truth of the matter. It's like, if you know exactly what you want, guess what, bud? You're going to get it. But if you don't, you're just going to get whatever you fear. You know, and if you fear some woman taking advantage of you and beating you up and all this extra shit, well, guess what, bud? You're gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking and envisioning like a woman that's gonna lock in with me, we're gonna build this empire together. Like, this is what you're gonna attract that. Now, is every woman gonna be on that page? No, but you're gonna know right away when she's not on that page.
I think you're definitely right that by 30, a man should at least have his goal, his vision, his aim. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to reach that yet.
No, and I think
that's
a
work in
women also have
progress.
to understand that as well, is that, like, you know, everyone's got a different path. And also, too, by that time, even if you've had success, like, because you see this, like, you make a lot of money, you got to do something with the money. Like, you're not just going to sit on cash.
Right.
You got to do something with it. And if you got real goals, you got real things, you're going to put that money back on the street. You know what I mean? That's what real people do. Like, you look at a Musk, like, he made all that money off PayPal, but then he put it back in the street. Same thing with every entrepreneur. Like, you know, you listen to Damon Dash. Like, he gets money, he puts it back on the street. Patrick Bet-David, same thing. You put it back. He sold his company for however much he did. He's doing this now. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do things, but then you got to put the money back on the street. So there's times where when you're in this path that things might be a little tight. Like, you could be rich and be tight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think a lot of women need to understand that too, is like, sometimes things are tighter than others. So if you're around for the tight parts, guess what happens during the loose parts? You know, that's how you get the Birkins. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the Birkins showing up on day one like, I want a Birkin. You get the Birkin by being through those tight parts of believing in the dream. Like, yeah, I know my man's got this. I know he's got a lot of money on the street, but when this come back, we about to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if they can have that mindset and be like, I want to eat with my man, and I'm going to understand these ups and, because entrepreneurship, you know, there's peaks and troughs. You know what I'm saying? It's not always like, you might only show the good things maybe on social media or whatever, but there's ups and downs. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're really good. You got a lot of cash flow coming in. Sometimes things are tight. And you want someone that really understands that ebb and that flow. And it's like, if I can't do this right now, you're not treating me like I'm some kind of bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll happen. You know what I'm saying?
What if they're not an entrepreneur and it's a possibility that
well, if they
can't
work at a
change it?
job, like, that's a different kind of lifestyle. I can't even speak on that. Like, you know, if you're selling your time for money, like, you got a lot of reading to do.
I want to get very good insight, by the way. Thank you. Women's perspective. Well, we just established, but at least for a man, you should have you might have not fulfilled where you want to be at by age 30. Makes sense. But you want to at least have an aim or a chief goal. For a woman, how do you view age 30? So by age 30, where do you see yourself? Fosh.
At age 30, I would hope to be in a relationship, like a long-term relationship, and getting ready to have a child, or, have had a child already by then. That's That's in 5 years.
You touched on something, Adam. I don't think 30 is the looks. It's not a woman. A woman at 30 still looks. There's a lot of sexy 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
For me, it's never been the age. It's the attitude. A 22, 23-year-old, she has like a more, just kind of like this kind of like fantasy of like things that are possible, right? 30, by that time, a majority, I'm not saying all, but a lot of women are really jaded at that point. Like they just don't have that kind of like childlike curiosity, that bubbly childlike curiosity.
That'd be me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they got that kind of like jadedness, and that jadedness kind of stifles innovation, So if you can kind of like at 30, if you're not jaded, you're an opportunity. But if everything you see, you're always seeing it with salt rather than sugar, yeah, you ain't got no opportunities.
Go deeper on that. So this jadedness. So you're saying for a woman's perspective.
Yeah, it's not age, bro. Because like
they've been around the block
and
enough.
A 30-year-old, they'll look just as sexy to me. Honestly, like I'm not saying. Like a 23-year-old, 30, they look about the same. But it's the jadedness for me. Like the rarity of having a woman that's 30 years old who's not jaded is extremely rare. Like now, if she's not jaded, then that's opportunity. But if she's jaded, she has all these perspectives of how things are gonna work, or how how they are, or this guy that did this and that, and she's taking all this baggage to you. Like I don't like. I don't see that working. Personally.
By the way, great point by our friend BJ right here. So give me some examples of what you see as a woman 30 plus being jaded, because you can be 30 plus, still look amazing, doing your thing, and not be jaded.
I think
so. Let me clarify
skeptical.
that.
Yeah,
exactly. But the ones that are, give me some actual examples.
Like skepticism and not being a dreamer. Like kind of like thinking like and taking all these other dudes, like the bad decisions you made in the past, and bringing them to now the present. Like I don't need to deal with that dude. Like his issues was not my issues. So like you bringing that to me is like, it's completely out of pocket, like I'm not that guy, so like the fact that you're taking his situation and trying to make it seem like somehow I might be that way, or you're trying to look for that way or whatever, like that just doesn't breed a productive relationship. I think women that are younger than that, they don't have all these other like for lack of a better word, like bitch dudes that are like trying to manipulate them or be passive, all this kind of stuff. So they don't have all this kind of angst and like all these different past experiences. So I think as you get older, I think for a woman, you got to kind of let that shit go and learn from it, obviously. Like you want to learn, and you want to also see how you were participating in this situation and why you attracted this type of situation, so you can evolve. But then when you get into a new situation, treat it like a new situation. I got that from like knocking on doors is like growing up. It's like you don't want to take the baggage from the previous door to the next door, because you're going to cost yourself a sale. Like you want to go to that door straight up, just fresh mind. Like this person's about to become my best friend. Now, whether they do or not, that's up for just reality to play out.
I just want to comment on that a little bit. I do think that it's a possibility that there are 30-year-old women that are not jaded.
I agree. Yeah, no, I think they're out
and
there
I do
for sure.
think that it's a possibility there are 22-year-olds that are jaded because they've been ran through, or
I agree.
they started really young in life, probably sexual abuse that caused them to be jaded.
Yes.
So I don't really think it has to do with age per se, more so life experiences.
Well, yeah, you can be jaded at any age. I think when I was talking was more percentage-wise. I think that by the time you get to 30, the higher percentages are definitely jaded. Younger, the percentages are a little bit lower. But you're absolutely right. You could be jaded at any age, and I think that's the great point. Is that like, don't be jaded. Yeah, we all go through challenges. We all go, but also understand your participation in the jadedness. Like no one fucks us over without our participation. Like I've been screwed over in business, I've been screwed over in relationships, but like you have to be a man or a woman about it, and you have to, take the bull by the horns and realize what you participated in. Like it wasn't just them. Like there was things in you that brought that out in them. So it's like being genuinely honest with yourself and like, how did I create this situation? And when you start taking that power back of like, I am the master of my destiny. Like, I am creating this reality. So if she was acting some type of way, that was me that was manifesting that. And I think really taking that ownership just helps just your experiences overall.
So, by the way, I want to stay right here because I can't understate the importance of what BJ just kind of highlighted. By the way, jadedness can happen at any age.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
talked
no, that
about
was great. And I'm
you
glad you
know,
brought
things
that
that
up.
happen.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is multiple failed relationships.
Yeah.
And you know, this isn't even like you know, people are obsessed with body count. What's your body count? I slept with this amount of guys. This guy. You can have a girl who's been in 2 relationships,
And
a
jaded.
gorgeous girl,
Yeah.
and jaded.
Yeah.
Or
And
she's
a
only
woman
been in
that's
2
with hundreds.
relationships and they were both good relationships and they just didn't work out and she's not jaded and she's going in fresh. You can have a girl who's 23 years old and she slept with 100 guys in college and now she hates men or thinks men's or all this. So every one of us, especially people who are, you know, have a high sexual market value, successful guys, good looking women, the whole thing, you're going to bring something to a relationship. You're going to. It's, are you willing to have a fresh start?
Yeah.
You know that the X relationship didn't work out for X, Y, and Z reason. You know that. Are you going to bring that baggage to this new situation?
Yeah, you should never do that.
Or are you going to say, hey, this is my standard. This is what I'm used to. I would like to do something new here. You know, it goes for guys. By the way, it's same with in business. Oh, my ex-business partner screwed me over. Or look on my resume. I worked with these
What you
12
notice,
jobs.
I'm sure you've experienced that, especially about business, right? Those guys that come with all that baggage, right? When you have those conversations, it's almost like they're putting it like on you, and it's like
Yeah.
almost creating that reality again. It's like you don't even want to hear about that. Like, and I know it's hard because like when you go through pain, because everyone goes through it. You have enough success. It wasn't just success. Like you've gone through some shit too.
Yeah.
And like when you bring that shit to new situations, it never works out good. It's just like a matter of just being like, yo, that's what it was. Let's leave that where it is.
Yeah.
And let's go like with just an open heart. You know, like I think one of the best things you could do with anyone is just meet them with your heart. And then once they show you their true colors, believe them. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try changing them. Don't try manipulating them. Don't try doing none of that. Just understand them. Like, okay, this is how they on it. Now just expect that from them. Now, I'm not saying people can't change, but they have to change. Like, you ain't gonna change them. You know, one of the best things I ever heard was you can help 1,000, but you can't carry 3 on your back. And that's from Jim Rohn. You should definitely go look him up. He's a
So
genius.
when you're starting a new relationship,
Yeah.
I think it's important to literally have this conversation.
Yeah.
You and I are starting this thing together, okay? Here's your prior relationship. Here's my prior relationship. A lot of times you're going to have that discussion. So who's the last person you dated? What was your, like, these are discussions people
What
have
I
in
notice is women
relationships.
aren't honest about that. That's what I know. Like, they'll talk about friends that wasn't really friends. They'll talk about, you know, they'll make up a whole bunch of different stories because they don't want to seem like they've been that intimate with a bunch of guys. That's kind of what I noticed. What do you think about that, Posh?
As far as what? What's the
Like,
question?
being honest about exes and shit. Like, would you tell a story to your new boyfriend about an ex that was more like a friend than an actual boyfriend?
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say I think people need to mind their business.
They do. Yeah.
That's how business get done. When you mind your business.
business. Exactly. Have
But,
business to mind and mind your business.
I don't know. If you don't want the answers to things like that, I don't think you should ask, kind of thing.
Oh, I'm not saying not wanting the
You don't
answers.
want the answer.
I'm saying when you express it, you're gonna express it in a way where it's like genuine honesty, or is it more like you trying to soften it? Like, this is like, you know, you're telling the story, but you're not really telling it exactly how it is. You're telling it where it's like you want to be seen in a certain light.
I think it's possible that people do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's just normal in general.
Yeah.
Last couple questions, and then we got to wrap up for the day.
Especially with somebody you
Today
like,
has
like,
flown
you wanna
by.
Yeah, you want to put your best foot forward
That
for
makes
sure.
sense. Yeah.
This concept, you talked about this earlier, of financial freedom. You said that I believe you reached
I own the
financial
trademark,
freedom.
bruh.
Yeah,
Financial freedom creator.
Financial
I'm the
free-
trademark holder of that.
You said that.
So you owe me some royalties. You keep dropping that.
What age did you reach financial freedom, and how would
27.
you define financial freedom?
Enough cash flow to pay your bills.
Just that simple.
Well, yeah, it is that simple.
Okay.
You got enough cash flow to cover your bills. That's
What hap-
financially free. Passive cash flow. Passive cash flow to cover your monthly nut is financial freedom. Now, as you get bigger goals, that nut gets bigger.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like that's where it comes in. It's like you could have financial freedom at one stage, but then like because your goals and your ambitions, it could actually kind of like, you know, like start like encroaching on that freedom. So I think like you got to really be specific of like what you're after and what you're trying to accomplish. Like, is it just freedom? Is it like building something? Is it like creating, like what, like we talked about before, it's like really comes down to your goals. Because once you have that in place, once you know exactly where you're going, that is when you can start like thinking of what's important to me. Like you can't tell yourself what's important to you until you know where you're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's important to you. So it's like, once you know this is where I'm going, you can start prioritizing properly.
So, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I don't know if just paying your bills makes you financially free.
No, I don't.
Because
mean-
I'm going to say
no,
that's
no, no,
probably
no,
all
no,
of
no.
America today, living paycheck to paycheck, and they're not financially free. I think it's more. I think it's.
I want to clarify.
I think it's
passive income that cover your monthly expenses. That's different than living paycheck to paycheck. So when you have enough passive income that covers your ideal lifestyle, that is financial freedom. So I want to clear, because you're right. You're absolutely right on that. So I want to make it clear, is that your ideal lifestyle, whatever that is, like I want to live this lifestyle, this is for me, because everyone's got a different perspective of what they want. So once you get clear of this is the lifestyle I want, and you know how much money it takes to cover that, when you have enough passive income to cover that life, you are not free.
Nat, you want to follow up on that?
No, it's okay.
No, but are we in
No,
the same
you're
page
good.
though?
Yeah, I got you.
I just want to be clear.
You're
That's
good.
it.
You're
Yeah.
good.
So how do you plan to help 100 million people become financially
Well,
free?
I already been doing it. We're well on our way, man.
So break it down.
I think I've
What are you
already
doing?
tapped into like 1 million, man. I don't keep track of the numbers because I don't care about the actual specific numbers. Like, I think when you're setting goals, it's not about actually the goal. It's about running after something. You know, it's about that chase. It's about that attraction. It's about doing that thing. You know what I mean?
So you're saying you're already doing it. Give me some
I'm already
examples.
doing it, man. Well, shit, man. With my marketing company, you know, I help, you know, people set appointments. They get passive cash flow. So they set appointments for me. They bring in a new deal. So they find someone that's super dope, but they just can't penetrate the market, right? Well, they bring them in. They introduce them to me. I help them penetrate the market. We break bread and they eat, you know? You know, I'm doing different things with the decentralized economy and cryptocurrencies and building decentralized exchanges and having people trade and just, you know, just finding different ways for people to invest and to grow. But it's really always around passive income. I really like to help people. Like, for instance, I've never been a person or an influencer that's trying to make money off their fans. Like, I've never made money off my people. Like, I make money with my people. So I like to recruit my people to freaking make money with me. And that's my biggest thing. And honestly, I probably would, like, I would make a lot of different decisions if that wasn't my actual goal. Like, I don't even run the ads. Like my ad spend is nil, okay? Like, and I could run ads. I get dollar conversions, like $2 conversions. Like, I could run ads all day and get a bunch of conversions. But that's not my goal. My goal is not BJ getting rich. My goal is always, I know I'm gonna be rich. Like, I always knew that. It's not about me. It's about how can I help more people create financial freedom. So I like figuring out different ways of organization where I can help people pay their bills and do it in a passive way. Like, how can I create this opportunity where someone can go out and bang this over and over and be able to pay their bills just by doing that task?
All right, so how are we going to help Fosh create financial freedom? How are we going to help Fosh
She's well on her way.
blow
I
up?
wanna
What are we
hear
going to do
BJ.
with Fosh?
She's well on her way.
I would love to hear the mastermind.
so
Top
like-
5 things.
So like, well, I need to look more into Fosh's brand and give proper feedback, but based on what I've already seen and what we've been discussing is, you know, I think it comes down to, you know, like these people that she has, like getting clear on what solution she's providing. Like, what does she want to help people with? Like, what do you genuinely want to help people with? What problem do you want to actually solve? Like, what problem are you solving? You know, I think getting very clear on what problem you're solving really helps, like, create the different solutions off of that. So if you're not clear, like, you know, if I'm just an influencer and I just do my thing, you know, like, that's hard to, like, create a real solution around. But if you have, like, a real core substance of, like, I love helping people with this, you know what I'm saying? Then there's all sorts of opportunities that can meld off of that. And, like, I mean, shit, like, there's people that would pay monthly just to have you do anything. Like, that's what's funny to me. It's like, see, like, women have their own challenges, they do, but men have their own challenges too. And, like, that's why I'm so, I'm big on empowering women, because I know if they took my ingenuity and my hustle and applied it to their game, fuck, man, they'd be so rich. You know, like, because like there's just so much opportunity in that. Like, there's people that would sign up for your subscription that would never sign up for mine, just because they want to be around you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of like putting those things together and think about it in terms of passive cash flow. Like, how can I build my passive cash flow where I'm organizing this, where it's not taking a lot of my time, a lot of my energy, and I'm able to, you know, build this passive cash flow. I think it comes around a lot of that.
You better follow up with this man after the show.
Oh, I am.
Let's see
We're
if
going to
this
Boneyard, right?
Yeah, we're going to Bunny. We already locked that in.
Last couple questions. You
Yeah.
grew up in Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
so East Coast.
Not the nice part, though.
Not
I just
the
want
nice
to make
part.
that clear. I was not from Greenwich.
You were not from hedge fund country.
No, not from Hedge.
Oh,
You've
you're like
been-
from the ground up.
Yeah, I'm from Hartford. Well, East Hartford officially.
Hartford.
You're
East
self-made.
Not Harvard.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Not Harvard. One time
No.
in college, I dated this girl, by the way, and she's like, "Yeah, I went to Harvard, or I go to Harvard." I was like, "Oh shit, I got fucking baddie in my." She goes to Harvard. She looks good. I'm 19. I don't know. I met her on spring break. I'm like, "Yo, I got one, guys. I got one."
She's gonna be a lawyer
She's
one
like,
day.
"Yeah, you know, I got to go back. I'm catching a flight to Connecticut tonight." I said, "Why are you going to Connecticut?" "Oh, I got to go back to school." I said,
Where she went
I
to-
thought Harvard is in
she went to
Boston.
Yale?
I go to Hartford, Connecticut. I was like, get this girl out of my face.
Yeah,
I knew it was too good to be
is
true.
Much different. Not
She's
that
at
UHart isn't a
Hartford.
school, but yeah.
Anyway,
UHart is much
shout out to
different
you, Veronica, for breaking my heart. Harvard.
than Hartford.
I'm a Harvard man.
UHart.
Okay, so you grew
looks
up-
really nice until you go down the street and there's bars on the window. You gotta be very careful.
So, yeah, I thought she was a Harvard girl. So, you grew up in Hartford,
Yeah.
the wrong side of the track, so to speak.
Yeah.
You end up in LA.
Yeah.
So, you have this sort of East Coast grind, hustle, grind
and that's
sensibilities
one of the things I would
that I
say-
assume
share.
comes with the East Coast.
One of the things-
What is, can I answer the question,
I'm
brother?
sorry, bro.
All right, thank you. I know you're eager.
I was-
Let me get the question out. But now you live in LA.
Yes.
LA is, correct me if I'm wrong, as fake as they come.
Yeah.
The people you meet, you never know if they're clout chasers,
Yeah.
if they're homie hoppers, if they're using you for all sorts of social climbing, all that. Do you have like, you know how there's like gay guys have gaydar? You know, do you have like bullshit reader? You know, this person is clearly trying to use
Yeah.
me.
Well,
Give me your
I didn't
dynamic
come
of
with-
what happens in LA.
That's a great question, Adam. And I didn't come with that. And you know what I mean? Because like I come from the land of crabs in a bucket. Okay, like everyone's trying to freaking just grab you down. Like they don't see the opportunity of pushing you up, and like everyone wins. Like everyone's just trying to get out the bucket. Everyone's just fighting to get out the bucket. So once you get out the bucket, it's really nice to just have people like think your ideas are good. You know, like that is like that was my biggest problem. I gotta be honest with you, Adam. It's like, bro, for me, having someone listen and understand what the fuck I'm saying was so impactful. Like that was more than $1 million to me. Was have someone listen to my ideas and be like, wow, that's a great fucking idea. You know what I'm saying? That to me was worth more than $1 million. And it's because where I came from. Like, and that was stupid, to be honest with you. I gave so much sauce out in the beginning of LA. Like, everyone loved being around me. They were all around me. Well, yeah, of course they were around me because I was the light in the dark. So they loved that. They just wanted, it was like moths to the flame, you know? But like, I loved it because I come from the land of crabs. So I'm like, shit, people fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just like made me feel really good, like appreciated. But I didn't realize these people appreciated me because they realized what they could get out of me and not get what they could get with me. You know, and that's the biggest thing is like, bro, if you can feel like you can get something out of someone, you're really myopic because that same person you get something out of, you can get 10 to 100x with them.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So like, think about how can I work with this person, not how can I work off of them. But that's definitely, like you said, like it is the land of kind of fake shit. But for me, at the first though, I loved it, man, because it was like I'm from the land of haters. Like Hartford is Hateford.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Waterbury's the dirty water. You know, Hartford is homicide Hartford. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's how we came up. That's what we thought, like where we lived, like, and it's super negative, you know? So it's like I came to palm trees and people like, you know, cool people that did cool shit thinking I'm cool, you know? Like that's like, wow, you know, I made it, you know? But then I realized like a lot of these people just want your sauce. You know, they don't really want to build with you. They just want, like, they want a taste. And that's really all they're after, and it's kind of really short-sighted.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, when you came to LA, that was a very attractive thing that people were like, "Oh, sure, yeah."
Oh man, I was
But then you
invited
slowly
everywhere.
realized that they were just kind of using
Well, bro,
you.
'cause I see my ideas, bro. I can't tell you how many ideas, how many things that I just love sharing. I love people appreciating me. Like, appreciation to me is like water, it's like food. And people appreciating me was enough for me. But then I would see my ideas out in the world, and I'd see them bastardized, and that started bothering me.
Protect your intellectual property.
Yeah, that started bothering me a
tell
lot
people
because, like, what I realized is because I was doing things from a different place, okay? And people were taking my ideas, but they wasn't really hearing my ideas. They liked them, but they was taking them from a different space. So then when they implement them, but they don't necessarily implement them the way I would implement them because it's coming from a different intention. Intention has a lot to do with what the end result is. And so people think, oh yeah, they think I'm saying one thing, but then when they go to execution mode, they didn't really understand what I was saying. And because if they truly understood what I was saying, they wouldn't try to take the sauce I was giving them and run off with it. They'd be like, damn, let's build something. You know what I mean? So just the fact that you want to take the sauce and run off with it tells me that you ain't ready for the sauce. And you actually probably going to hurt yourself with the sauce.
By the way, shout out to all the sauce that's being served here on the Soscast.
Yeah, we're on the
I mean,
Soscast.
as you're telling me about all this
dripping
sauce, I'm
sauce.
thinking I got to come
sauce
up with
for the
my
mic
sauce
tonight.
brand. We got super sauce. This has been great. I really want you to help Fosh because
Yeah, we're
I think she's
riding.
I think
She's cool
she's
as shit.
I think she's a superstar in the
you're cool,
making,
too.
Right back
and we're
at
gonna
you.
help her out.
Yeah.
Last question, and you're big on branding.
Yeah.
You're also big on, I assume, rebranding,
Yeah.
like a relaunch. Like sometimes maybe your image isn't where it's where
Well, I
you
think
want it
comes
to
down
be.
authenticity, to be honest with you, Adam. And I think we have a unique opportunity in this world. Like, for instance, like I like Beyonce as an example, right? Like, she became famous before social media, and now you see that she never talks. You know why that is?
Tell me why.
They're afraid that if she says something that doesn't fall in line with her brand, it's going to destroy it. So she stays in the cuts, okay? Which rightfully so. But nowadays, you can actually become famous for who you are. And that's what you want to do. You want to stop chasing the next trend, and you want to stop chasing this, chasing that, bro. If you already saw it as the trend and that it worked, it's already too late. You need to really tap into, like, what do I want to do? Like, what do I see? How do I want to move? Where am I going? And then focus on that. Like, stop trying to mimic what's already been done, because if it's already been done, you already missed it. So just figure out, and there's soft trends and hard trends. This is very important to understand. Like, you don't want to get caught up in soft trends. You want to see hard trends, and you want to align your goals and business and aptitude with the hard trend. If you can do that, you cannot help but be successful. If you're focusing on a soft trend, then that soft trend might be out tomorrow, and you're gonna be left, just sitting there.
So how would you distinguish the difference between a soft trend and a hard trend?
Yeah, so it's something more like macro versus micro, right? It's like, for instance, advancements in technology and getting people closer and more intimate connection, kind of like bringing this whole thing down, like where the world is becoming local, is like a macro trend, right? But like a micro trend is like this whole like demon behavior, right? Like this whole like thing of like being anti whatever, or being like just kind of like an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. That's not a long-term trend. That's just for today, and it will be gone tomorrow.
Well, let's hope.
No, I already know, bro.
I
Like,
didn't
it's
even
already
know that
coming.
was a trend, honestly.
What?
Like that, the anti-asshole thing you're saying.
I mean, it has been a trend. I think we're already kind of transitioning past that.
Are you referring to like cancel culture, wokeism, hating on people? Oh, you said the wrong thing. You're done.
Well, I think that is some of it. Also think that it's like people that, yeah, I mean, it's that whole kind of like, but not necessarily, because like cancel culture, I feel like sometimes like just for voicing your opinion, you can be canceled. Mm-hmm. And like, I think open dialogue is super important. Like, I don't want to shut anyone up. Like, bro, tell me what the fuck you feel. So that way I then can observe it and know how to act. The worst thing I want is people doing shit in the cuts.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
agree.
worst thing.
Oh
Like,
my
I don't
God.
want that at all. Like, I want you to feel super comfortable so you can just tell me, yeah, keep talking. Yeah, tell me. Because that is going to be like, I'm like, okay, because that's not going to affect me in no way. Like, now I know how you want it. I know what your cards are, so I know how to play it. But, like, if everyone's feeling so insecure, like, I can't say this, I can't say that, I don't even like that type of world. Like, I want people to feel completely comfortable with expressing themselves. Now, does that mean I'm going to agree with you? No, that doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you if I agree with you. But if I don't agree with you, I don't agree with you. But I want you to feel comfortable enough to express yourself, because even if I don't agree with you, it doesn't mean we can't be friends. Doesn't mean we can't do business together. We might actually have a very successful relationship, but it comes down to respect. You know, it's like, can you respect my opinion? Can I respect your opinion? And can we synergize and meld our ideas and what we got going on, and can we create a better world? Okay, then we can rock. But if we're if we're not on that page, or we're trying to get over on someone, like, I think it really comes down to cooperative effort at the end of the day. It's like, can we work together? Or are you trying to get over on me? And if you're trying to get over on me, I ain't got time for you. Like, real shit.
I
Like,
agree.
Can you disagree without being disagreeable? Last point.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
wanted to ask. I wanted
Yeah,
him
I
to go
like-
more into the macro
yeah. So
trends, because I feel like it wasn't clear.
okay. So yeah, so like macro trends are like, technology, different things that you see throughout the course of time where things are going. So you want to focus on the macro is the kind of like the things that are pertinent to the human spirit. If it's just a today thing, like this is trendy, that's a micro thing. If it's something, this is like where we're going as a human race, this is a macro thing.
Okay, so the top 3 things as a macro would be what?
Well, I'd say right now is like, I would say technology. I would say like macro trends. I would say technology, AI, and also decentralized economies, decentralized
Like
assets.
Web3?
Yeah, Web3. I would say those are definitely macro trends, but that also falls in line with technology. So it's
Okay.
like the macro trend is technology making our lives simpler. That is the macro trend.
I think just to kind of put a bow on this, a famous quote from, I believe it's Jeff Bezos. He said, "It is not my job to predict what will be in the future. It's my job to predict what will still be here in the future."
Yes.
And I think that's what you're kind of talking
Yes,
about. Is
exactly.
like, what can we latch onto
Yes.
that is fundamental and tantamount to a society and business and success that will still be here
Yes.
20, 30, 50, 100 years from now,
Yes.
versus just kind of
recognizing that, Adam.
wondering what would still
But
be here.
recognizing that before others, right? Because once everyone gets on board and it becomes like everyone knows, there's no opportunity left. So like the best investments I've ever made in general comes down to if regular people are telling me it's dumb, it's a great investment. If regular people are telling me it's fucking it's a smart idea, then I'm done. Like
Well, at the same
like, for
time,
instance, I
when an
was
Uber
buying
driver
Bitcoin-
tells you to
yeah,
buy
like I was
Dogecoin.
buying Bitcoin at $9,009. Like I was buying it at all these low ass prices. You know what I'm saying? You know when everyone told me that when everyone was hyped on it, when Meek Mills talked about it at like 50,000 a coin, which was the wrong time to fucking buy. But when I was telling everybody at 9,000, they're looking at me like, "You're crazy. Is this some kind of scam? Like, is this real money?" You know, all this kind of shit. But that's the thing. It's like, so I've started to realize, like, bruh, if majority of people are disagreeing with you, you're right.
Yeah, well, there's a famous phrase in the financial world. They say, "Buy the rumors, sell the news."
Yeah, is that no?
So if you're
if it's in the news, bro, you're
Yeah,
already
you're
late.
already too
Like
late.
that whole NFT thing, bro. I created that whole NFT thing. I'm not even proud of it, to be honest, because it was bastardized.
You're the guy.
It
You're the
started
guy.
whole fucking thing.
You son of a.
No, I know, but they took it. No, but bro, you want to know what an NFT is? It's
Yeah.
not a fucking ape. Okay.
It's a non-fungible token,
No,
right?
yeah, okay, that's what they'll say. Okay, yeah, you're right. It is a non-fungible. Yeah, give me some five on that. It is a non-fungible token, but it's not a fucking ape on the blockchain. Now, could it be? Yeah, sure, but there's a million applications. You know what the coolest application, in my opinion, is?
What is it?
A fucking liquidity pool. And if you don't know what a liquidity pool is, and you don't know what market making is, go fucking check it out, bruh. Because those are the people that are running your life. Don't you want to be a liquidity provider? Don't you want to be a market maker? Yeah, you fucking do. So go learn what the fuck that is.
Period.
BJ, I wish we had more time because BJ is on one right now.
I'm on one.
BJ, we're about to wrap up right now. Is that what we call famously our happy ending? If you could, sir.
Yes, sir.
Summarize what you stand for in 30 seconds or less, and what you want the world to know about you.
I stand for freedom. I don't stand for regulation. I don't stand for other people telling other people what to do. I believe
Respect
in looking into your heart and figuring out how you want to serve people. How do you want to serve your brothers and sisters? Right? What problem do you want to solve for humanity? Tap into that. That's where freedom lies. That's where the wealth and the riches lie. Is like, how do I want to help my brothers and sisters? And look at humanity as your brothers and sisters. Don't look at humanity as your enemies. Don't look at humanity as your fucking competition. Fuck all that. Like, our competition is way bigger than that. I don't think y'all realize. Like, your neighbor is not your competition. He's your friend. Get to work with him.
Boom. Nat, you got some super chats that you want to read before we wrap
I got
up?
some super chats I want to read. I'm going to reread one of them because I did get some hate in the chat and I read it again. So I'll read it for you guys.
They be hating on me.
It's okay.
You know they hating on me.
So we'll read Sean Z's chat again. He said, Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. This guy is a stereotype where the
Yeah, of
geek
course.
went
I'm a stereotype.
to be rich.
Yeah, I'm always there. They're going to hate on me to the day I'm fucking old, man. Because I'm what they didn't want to happen.
All right. It says, this guy's a stereotype where the geek went to be rich and the high school jock is a scrub. People
But
only think Brad Pitt.
I was a high school jock,
People
though.
only-
No, but I was a high school jock, though. I was a 4-year varsity letterman. Fucking ice hockey and baseball. Okay? As a freshman, I was a stud because I hung out with all the seniors. So I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
Well, they're actually complimenting you. They're
Oh.
saying that. They're actually complimenting you. They're
BJ
saying-
trying to pick a fight that don't
I'm
exist.
just picking a fight.
Wait,
You got me
wait.
too much
BJ's
BJ's
getting-
You let me
You got me too
finish.
drunk over here. I'm
You gotta let me finish. So
All
it's the last statement is people only think Brad Pitt looking guys are successful.
Oh, so they're saying I'm.
What are they
look
trying
like
to say,
Brad Pitt?
BJ?
They're just saying that you
They
don't
trying
have
to say
to.
I look like Brad Pitt?
No, they're just saying
Because
that
I don't
you,
look like Brad Pitt. I look like fucking like Adam Sandler or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, you know.
I think they were saying that you don't look like Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't need
can
to be
still
Brad
be
Pitt to
successful,
Oh,
and
be
you have
successful.
your own
Oh,
look.
thank you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
no.
for getting on you, man.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you don't have to look like Brad Pitt to be successful. You don't have to look like Brad Pitt to get 12s, bro. You gotta be you, and you gotta get some goals. That's what you gotta do.
It makes some money.
Well, the goals will make you money.
And Sean Z said he criticized my super chat, so I read it again for you. And it's not a waste of money because I'm going to read your chat. Then we have CC. From a personal experience, men unsure of athletic future can find it hard dating as far as having women stick with a plan. He can go from church janitor to NFL practice squad in a snap of fingers. And then we have Shanzi again. You struggle with reading. Thank you very much. And then we have JC Next Day VR, $20. We appreciate you. And then we got TRC in the chat. We see you, TRC23. I'm an indigenous Native American treaty to territory. As part of the treaty, we get healthcare, housing, education, and we pay no tax. If I have babies with Natalya DelValle, our babies would get the same treaty rights for our babies. Thanks, TRC.
You get those tax-free babies, Nat.
Tax-free babies.
Go get them.
That's it for the super chats. Thank you all for the super chats. We appreciate it. Any of the ones that I did butcher, I reread. So thank you for
And I'm sorry
that.
for misunderstanding. I don't know why everyone. I think just everyone.
Hey,
wants
listen,
to be-
okay.
Brad
I
Pitt,
come from the
Adam
land.
Sandler,
Like
you'll be
everybody wants
fine.
smoke.
I come from the land of smoke, man. I just feel like everyone wants to smoke.
All right,
so.
Fosh, final thoughts on
Yes.
your end. You got some stuff cooking, some stuff you can share, some stuff you cannot share. Drive some traffic to your
There you go.
social profiles. Let people know where to find you. Go.
Yeah,
Everyone-
be offensive.
Everyone follow me at FOSHPOSH. I know you guys, this isn't the first time you probably see me, so.
Yeah. Make it happen.
Yeah, follow me there. I do fitness, modeling, and I'm also working on like some dating stuff. So stay tuned.
Give Fosh a follow.
I heard
and
she's
one
dropping
of
a
these
dating
days she'll
app.
reveal
That's what I
the
heard.
big thing that she's working on. BJ, you have
don't
an
know.
assignment. You need to help Fosh
Yeah, we're
with
getting
everything she's
lit.
doing. There
That's
you
our
go.
homework.
But you don't understand, Adam. You know, like one of my goals at life is like helping women like Fosh like reach their goals.
Nice.
But what I find the challenge is that a lot of them like they just be telling stories and shit. Like they be acting like they into something just to try to make you like interested rather than like actually being into something.
Fosh,
I'm not saying Fosh
don't
is.
be acting like
I'm
you
not
into
saying
something.
Fosh is because I believe she actually really is. But I'm just saying in general, like in general, get goals.
Well, you have a goal of 100 million people financial freedom. Let's
Yes,
start
brother.
with Fosh
Yeah.
and go from there.
Yes.
BJ, thank you for
Counting on
being
you.
here.
Thank
LA
you,
in
Adam.
the
Thanks for
house
having
via
me, boss.
Connecticut. Shout out to that girl that I thought went to Harvard but went to
Yeah,
Hartford.
You heart.
Broke my heart, woman.
You heart. Shout out you heart.
Give Fosh a follow. Nat, thank you so much for everything you're doing. Any final thoughts, final words?
Final thoughts. I actually liked what Fosh said today. She had something that was really crucial. Where I think a lot of the time people think to get a beautiful woman like someone like Fosh, you have to look a certain way or your page has to be a certain way. And I think when it comes down to it, a woman who is of value in men's eyes, I think those women are more looking for men that provide that depthness and value, and that's not necessarily through your social media all the time. So men who aren't big on social media, work hard, make your money,
Get
be a
some
gentleman,
goals.
and you can find a beautiful lady that will
Yes, you
support
can.
you.
Nice. Well,
Way more beautiful than you ever imagined.
here we go. We
bruh.
got the smoke coming. All right.
That scared the
Yeah.
hell out of me,
Final
actually.
thoughts. The smoke's coming. Well, if we learned anything from BJ, set some goals.
Yeah, no,
Set
really,
some goals.
That's the most important thing.
Reach
you do.
to where you want to be. Fosh, as gorgeous as ever. Nat, your reading skills are just fucking phenomenal these
and
days.
constantly getting better.
Okay, no matter what our friend had to
Constantly
say.
getting better.
I know.
Guys,
I
thank
think
you.
that was my fault because it wasn't the reading; it was the comprehension. I'm just
okay.
not good
Yeah,
at
it's reading and
comprehension.
comprehension. So listen, I don't care if you're Brad Pitt or not Brad Pitt. You
I don't
keep
even
doing
know
what you're
the question
doing.
was the way it was worded.
Guys,
It's
thank
like-
you so much for being here on the Soscast. We'll be back tomorrow where Nat and I are going to do a reaction to a lot of trending stories that are going out there. Subscribe. Tell a friend, tell your wife, tell your mom, tell your kids. We're out here on Valuetainment. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, save that money. We out.
Say that, man.
Yeah.